You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, new charges for the man accused of firing the gun that left a Belmont student dead. Plus, new video on the disappearance of Riley Strain from a Metro Police body camera. We're going to show you that encounter and what Riley's family is saying about it.
Coming up, I'll have an update on a possible change to TSU's governing board.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News this morning, just after 4 a.m. on this Tuesday morning. I'm Justin McFarland. We've got new details this morning about new charges that are being filed in the shooting death of a Belmont student, Julian Ludwig, that happened last fall. Shaquille Taylor was charged in this case with firing a gun while Ludwig was walking in Edge Hill Park. She was shot in the head and died at the hospital just a few days later. Court records now show that Shaquille Taylor is facing felony murder charges. That is in addition to the previous charge of felony aggravated assault, and also tampering with evidence has now been upgraded to his felony offense as well. We'll continue to keep you updated on this case that has made national news. Continuing coverage in the search for the missing college student, Riley Strain. We're getting a look at video now from the Metro Police Department showing a very brief encounter between an officer and Riley Strain on the very night that he disappeared.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
That was it. Police released that video yesterday, 10 days after the 22-year-old college student vanished after being asked to leave a downtown Nashville bar. The exchange happened on Gay Street, just south of the Woodland Street Bridge, not too far from the Metro Police Station, as a matter of fact. The Metro Police Department says that Riley Strain did not seem distressed, adding that the officer was on Gay Street for a vehicle burglary call and stayed there for around 45 minutes after this encounter. Now, the video's release comes after some folks on social media, on the social media app TikTok, found Riley's debit card along the banks of the Cumberland River over the weekend. Now, we spoke with Riley Strain's family, who says they are concerned about how this case is being handled. They want to know why it took 2 days to assign a detective to this case.
I wish something would have been done sooner. We've discussed this. The first 48 is so crucial. You know, don't shoot the messenger, but I think if we had people with badges right now that was covering this as strongly as the media has, we'd have Riley home.
Metro Police tell Fox 17 News there's no evidence of foul play in this case, and officers have met with Riley's parents to give them a full update. 4:03 is the time. It's a chilly morning. Let's get over to Greg. Greg, is it spring yet?
Technically not until 10 o'clock tonight, so we can't complain too much, but you are right. It is cold out there. You're waking up to 20s, and it's going to stay that way until about 8, 9 o'clock this morning. Freeze mornings in the same spots we had them yesterday morning, but all of us have stair-stepped down below 30 degrees. So any plants you've got outside that are starting to blossom and bloom, you may have a little damage to some leaves by the end of this morning. This is the coldest start in the next 10 days, but yes, welcome to spring. I mean, wait, what, winter? What? No, we're starting off very cold. We'll end the day like spring, up near 60 degrees. We're tracking our next rain, not today or tomorrow, but by the time you go to bed on Thursday, a few showers begin to move in, and then fairly rainy on Friday itself. We will get warmer at the same time, though. Here we go, taking a look. 60 degrees this afternoon, 68 tomorrow. We'll keep the 60s all the way into the weekend with that rainiest day of the forecast, not being a washout, not being thunderstorm activity, but coming on Friday.
Steer clear traffic out there for you. Let's get a good look at what we're dealing with at 404. This is a live look at I-40 at Donaldson Pike, very close to Nashville International Airport. As you can see, traffic out there moving along very nicely. No big problems in either direction out there near the airport, which is great news for you if you're getting out and about here on this Tuesday morning. We'll continue to watch things for you, let you know what we find, but right now we're doing fine with Steer Clear Traffic live and local through 9.
I think that the student's perspective and the student point of view has not been truly brought into this conversation.
Well, new this morning, a plan to change the way that Tennessee State University is governed is now seeing changes of its own. State lawmakers are now pushing forward a bill to remove 3 members of the university's Board of Trustees. The idea is not sitting well with some students. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live this morning from the state capitol after some lawmakers are actually calling this a good compromise while others really disagree. Karen.
Good morning, Justin. The House Government Operations Committee passed the amendment yesterday to not fully remove TSU's governing board, but just some of his members. Last week, the Senate passed legislation to get rid of 10 members of TSU's governing board. The House plans to cut the number to 3. Under the new plan, it would stay that way until 2026. Following yesterday's vote, lawmakers say it's a good compromise. But the Save TSU Community Coalition held a press conference where TSU students say they're frustrated after not having a voice in the process.
This keeps the entire board from being vacated. You never want to do that.
We're not the most supportive of any members getting removed, but the less disruptive it is to our student body and to our campus, that's what it is.
The bill could potentially be on the House floor next week. Reporting live in front of the Capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, coming up, 2 girls from the mid-state have now been found across state lines. This is after an Amber Alert overnight. The charges their mother is now facing. And a car chase in Kentucky where police say the suspects hit triple-digit speeds. They say the driver nearly...
When you see this icon here, here, and here. No, we're providing you the information needed to prepare and stay safe.
Fox 17 News, Code Red Weather. Alerts, empowers, protects.
4:09 is the time here on this Tuesday morning. 2 children reported missing out of Shelbyville were found safe, and now their non-custodial mother is facing some charges. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says that Journey and Daly Garrett were found in Alabama last night. An Amber Alert had been issued around 7 p.m. The TBI says both girls were last seen in Shelbyville back on March the 13th. Their mother, Casey Campbell, is now charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. Another update to tell you about this morning, as Tullahoma police say that the body of a missing man was found in the woods over the weekend. We're talking about Dylan Peluso, who was reported missing after a disturbance call back on March the 7th. Police say that his body was found in the woods just off of North College Street on Sunday. A cause of death in his case has not been released. Police say they are continuing to investigate. Let's take you to Kentucky. That's where police up there say that a man is facing a list of charges after police say that they were led on a high-speed chase by this man. The Christian County Sheriff's Office says that they tried to stop Tariq Collier on Sunday after deputies saw him driving more than 100 miles per hour on Fort Campbell Boulevard. Now, deputies say during the chase, Collier nearly crashed into another car and almost hit a person who was changing a flat tire. We're told that he was finally arrested after his car went airborne and crashed in a field. He is facing multiple charges, including reckless driving, fleeing or evading police, as well as criminal mischief. Glad everybody's okay, sounds like. Let's get to Greg. Will everybody be okay with the weather forecast? Let's check it out.
Yeah, get the winter coat and you'll be okay. Kind of like yesterday morning where we're going to have some cold temperatures, actually even colder than yesterday. And if you're parked outside, get ready for a little frost on windshields. I'm telling you that right now. We're going to be in the mid to upper 20s through about 8 o'clock this morning. Rain moves in late Thursday. Let's just talk about the next weather maker here, because the afternoons today, tomorrow, and even Thursday itself during the daytime in the 60s. Steady rainfall throughout Friday, on and off. We're not washing out the whole day. We're not bringing in severe weather and thunderstorms like last Thursday into Friday, but that's the day to watch when it comes to inconvenient weather. So let's kind of take a look at the timeline of this. I'm going to do one click, and this is all your Tuesday and Wednesday. So know that we're going to have abundant sunshine, clear skies. The next 2-3 days look great. We're going to hit the brakes here when we go into about 7, 8 o'clock at night on Thursday. So sun goes down, clouds begin to move in. By 11, going into the afternoon hours, going then, here's your 7 p.m. on Thursday. The overnight brings in a few showers, and then a few showers on and off for the rest of your Friday. You can see the light and dark greens indicate just steady rainfall on and off. Not worried about storms at this time, but we have to make sure we have the umbrella for the first time this week as we go into our Friday.
School steer clear traffic this morning. I'm sorry, I was writing something that has to do with schools. I'll tell you more about that later. Let's get to I-24 Harding Place out there in the Antioch area. If you're going to school this morning, you're doing just fine out there and about this morning. School zones will be up and operating across Metro Nashville as they're back from spring break. Other locations, though, are going to be out for spring break this morning. This is I-24, again, coming in from Antioch. No problems from out there. We're continuing to watch things for you. We'll let you know if something does develop. We are picking up something down in the Coffee County area. As a matter of fact, we're going to try to get you more details about that coming up here in the next few minutes. Well, also coming up, Israeli officials invited to the United States as the Biden administration and Israel's government are in disagreement over the next steps in the war against Hamas. And
company isn't helping you with your car. How do you think they're going to deal with you about your injuries? We can help. Call us at 615-242-9000.
Coming up on 4:15 here on your Tuesday morning, live look there at Nissan Stadium, the home of your Tennessee Titans, TSU Tigers, the Music City Bowl, and it's going to remain that way for the next 3 years or so, 2024, 25, 26. The new Dome Stadium, which just broke ground a few days ago, won't be done until 2027. So I imagine they've already started to put up the fencing and things like that around there. So things will be changing. You see Metro Police keeping a close eye. By the way, the juvenile court is still down there as well, right next door to that. So it's going to be moving as well very soon. Well, the Israeli Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, will send a team of officials to Washington. This is to hear the United States' concerns about a possible military operation in Rafah. Now, the White House National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan, says the meeting will happen at the end of this week or possibly early next week. It comes after a phone conversation between Netanyahu and President Biden on yesterday. Now, Sullivan says that the two leaders spoke at length about the Rafah territory there and why it's such a hot button issue between the two world leaders.
Our position is that Hamas should not be allowed a safe haven in Rafah or anywhere else. But a major ground operation there would be a mistake. It would lead to more innocent civilian deaths, worsen the already dire humanitarian crisis, deepen the anarchy in Gaza, and further isolate Israel internationally.
Now, Sullivan also says the team from Israel will include military as well as intelligence officials and humanitarian officials as well. He notes that the United States believes that the key goals Israel wants to achieve in Rafah can be done without a major ground invasion. Sullivan also says the United States will lay out an alternative approach that would target key Hamas elements in Rafah and secure the Egypt-Gaza border. Former President Donald Trump cannot make bond in his civil fraud case. His lawyers are now telling the court that the former president cannot find an insurance company to underwrite the $464 million in judgment that he needs. Now, the deadline to post is next week. Trump is asking an appeals court to delay the posting of his bond until after an appeal can be heard. If the former president cannot pay his bond, his assets could be seized and sold. It's unknown exactly which assets the former president has put up. The White House is now enacting a brand new executive order to help make sure that women receive equal levels of funding and research for their medical needs. Now, the order is designed to ramp up research centered around women's health, as well as increase data collection and bolster funding for biomedical testing. Now, the former California First Lady and advocate Maria Shriver, alongside the president, has tried to stress the importance of this.
Women make up 2/3 of those with Alzheimer's, and no one knows why that is. We make up 80% of those with autoimmune diseases, the majority of those with MS. No one knows why that is. Black and brown women are more likely to develop endometriosis and face pregnancy-related complications.
The president also announced $200 million in investment for the National Institutes of Health, along with more than 20 brand new actions by federal agencies. Well, across the nation, 5 students from the University of Georgia are now being hailed as heroes after their road trip turned into a life-saving mission. Now, the girls were traveling to Savannah. This happened on Saturday when they saw a car dive into a creek. Now, the students immediately got into the water to try and pull out 2 children and the adult driver out of that car that went into the water. It's unknown exactly why this accident happened, but the Burke County Sheriff's Office says that the girls were, quote, in the right place at the right time. Congratulations to those college students, and I'm glad it looks like everybody was able to make it out after that crazy accident there. Never know when duty calls. Let's get to Greg Bobus here, standing by. What is our forecast looking like here for today? It's a cold start, that's for sure, but a warm-up eventually?
We'll get 34 degrees warmer than we are right now by this afternoon.
Nice.
So when you walk outside, it's not going to be good now. When you walk outside later, it will give you those spring feels, and this is the first day of spring, so it will kind of follow suit. But this is what it feels like. This is the wind chill temperature out there right now. We have temperatures that have already slid well into the 20s for the feels likes, and these will get colder before they get warmer. Our actual air temperature will continue to fall the next few hours. So the 30-degree temperature could end up in the 20s very easily, and that 25-degree feels like temperature may get closer to 20 before we get warmer. Winter coat, frost on windshields, but that big swing in temperature. I'm aiming for a high of 60 degrees across the board later on this afternoon. That's a really nice place to be when you're starting off feeling like you're in the 20s and 30s. There's no freeze warnings in effect for Middle Tennessee. You might go, that's really cold. We're below 32. But we still do see freeze overnight quite often this time of the year. Our average last freeze is March 31st, meaning it does happen periodically in the month of April. And our latest freeze in Nashville was April 25th. So we still have a good month worth of freezing temperatures that can pop up on and off throughout the next 30 days. As far as the forecast goes, though, if you have the winter coat this morning and the sunglasses, you do not need the umbrella, and you will have a nice 60-degree high later on this afternoon, and we get even warmer than that. We'll look at those temperatures coming up in the next check of your Code Red forecast and find the next chance for some rain that will move in very late Thursday into your Friday. We'll see how it compares to what happened last week, Thursday and Friday.
Stay clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you to I-24 at Bradley Parkway. As you get out and about towards Antioch, as you can see, there is the traffic moving along there very nicely as you head out and about. If you have got to make your way into town, we were dealing with a crash out there at I-24 in the Coffee County area. Thankfully, it looks like that crash has now cleared, so no more problems out in that direction. We were also dealing with another crash down in the Williamson County area. Looks like that one, too, near 840 has gotten out of the way, so we'll continue to follow things for you, let you know exactly what we find throughout the morning. A massive database of alleged AT&T records is now available on the dark web for just a couple of bucks, according to cybernews.com. That includes 70 million records like names, addresses, social security numbers. The hack went down back in 2021. The original criminal group wanted $200,000 for the data. Well, now it's a new seller. While the data seems to be accurate, AT&T says it has no indications that the system was compromised and that it didn't come from them. Researchers say many of the exposed users appear to have AT&T accounts. Well, coming up, the Nashville Predators have their playoff spot on the line as the season continues. What to expect from tonight's big matchup and the special opportunities for some Preds fans. And after
Janet, hey.
Eddie, no, Fraser, Frank. Frank?
Fred, how are you? Fred.
Fuel up to 7 brain health indicators, including your memory. Join the Nariva Brain Health Challenge.
Happening tonight, the San Jose Sharks will be on the ice down at Bridgestone Arena. That's as the Nashville Predators are continuing to fight to keep their wild card spot secure in the Western Conference. It is Ford Military Week, as the Predators are going to be honoring the service members as well as military families. Now, the Preds won 10 of their last Nashville Predators have won 12 of their last 14 games, and they are 2-0 against San Jose this season. The puck will drop at 7 o'clock tonight. You should know the Preds have a year-round discount program for service members and first responders. That means 25% off of tickets for certain games. You can find out what offers that the Preds have at nhl.com/Predators. You can go to the ticket. So you can go to tickets, then special offers to find out exactly what they are offering. Longtime fans of the magazine Sports Illustrated says that the magazine has now been saved. The sports magazine is set to get a brand new life under a brand new publishing deal announced by Authentic Brand Groups, which owns the magazine's intellectual property rights. The news caps a rough series of months for SI that has resulted in major layoffs and artificial intelligence scandals, plus a departure of senior executives. The Arena Group, which had published Sports Illustrated since 2019 and had stopped paying Authentic its licensing fee for publishing rights back in January. Now, we'll see what this means for the magazine's future. Of course, SI has been a long-time staple in the sports community. Greg is a sports fan. Greg, I know.
Absolutely.
Sports Illustrated, my friend.
I'm sure I've still got multiple magazines. The Michael Jordan days, the Bulls, the whole 9 yards. They're definitely in the old childhood closet somewhere. Oh, SI. Taking a look here. Back home today, 60 degrees later on this afternoon. Chilly morning. When I say chilly, I mean colder than yesterday morning. We're starting off right now already in the 20s in most spots. So below average across the board. But if you can go from 24, 25 degrees in the morning to near 60 for the afternoon, it's just a little bit of a reason to smile. A little bit later today. Sunset will be at 6:58 later on this evening. You can follow those ups and real big downs of temperature on the Code Red weather app by scanning that QR code. If you don't already have it, you're missing the boat. It really is a helpful tool for you. Taking a look, weekend outlook. Yeah, 68 degrees on Saturday, 70 on Sunday, looking rain-free. Please start making your plans now. It's going to be a real good one.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Quick look here at I-24 Bell Road in the Antioch area. Things out there rolling along just fine. We'll give you an update as the morning goes on.
There are some changes to a bill that aimed to remove TSU board members. Coming up in a few minutes, I'll tell you what those changes are.
And two lawmakers, one
company and the insurance company, are not concerned with the victim. I was worried about being able to pay my bills. I enjoyed you representing me because I knew I had to have the best.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Well, now on Fox 17 News This Morning, a long saga in the Tennessee legislature pushing towards to an end. This is as lawmakers are moving forward with a bill that would remove some of TSU's Board of Trustee members. We're going to tell you why this could mean less of a change than the initial proposal. And Toby Keith, honored by the Country Music Hall of Fame. We're going to tell you more about his impact on music history.
Bitterly cold for now, but today is the first day of spring. We'll talk about a warming trend and rain later this week. I'll time in your Code Red forecast.
Just after 4:30 here on this Tuesday morning. Thank you for joining us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Justin McFarland. We're going to begin with an endangered child alert. This was happening as the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is looking for a teenager, Catherine Alexis Stayrock. They are from McMinn County, the sheriff's office. They are looking for her. She's 5'6". The TBI says she was last seen yesterday. Now, if you have seen her, you're asked to call the number at the bottom of your screen. That number is area code 423-645-3222. We're new this morning. Some Tennessee lawmakers are now voting to move forward with a bill that would get rid of at least 3 members of Tennessee State University's Board of Trustees. Now, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar live this morning from the state capitol with reaction from lawmakers about why they decided to do this.
Good morning, Justin. Well, first I want to talk about the bill. The original bill wanted to remove all TSU's governing board members. But yesterday here at the Capitol behind me, the House Government Operations Committee passed an amendment to the bill that would only remove 3 of those members. The compromise seems promising, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say. Some say it's progress from where it was headed before. The Senate passed a bill last week to get rid of all 10 members of the TSU Board of Trustees. The amended bill would mean Governor Bill Lee appoints 5 people to the TSU board, not all 10. The bill could potentially move to the House floor next week. Here are how some lawmakers reacted to yesterday's vote.
With the amendment, that is the structure of the bill as it has been already stated.
This keeps the entire board from being vacated. You never want to do that.
After yesterday's vote, there was a press conference where TSU students expressed their frustration and not being a part of the progress. Coming up in about half an hour, I'll have some of their reactions. Reporting live in front of the Capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Well, you can get more stories just like this delivered right to your inbox every morning by signing up for our daily newsletter. You can do so on our homepage at fox17.com. The Country Music Hall of Fame will now induct Toby Keith. The late country music superstar died, of course, just a few weeks ago. The actual vote happened just days before he died back in February. The museum notes his passion for supporting our military. Toby Keith played for more than 250,000 troops throughout his career. Keith was previously inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame. He also received a BMI Icon Award. All right, let's talk to Greg Bovis. He's standing by with a look at your forecast here as it is spring break for a lot of people out there.
Winter break?
Well, sure.
Depends how early you're up this week, really. Right now we have winter temperatures, but it is spring break, I promise you. If you wait until the afternoon and evening of every day this week, the spring feelings, we have summer, almost summer-like temperatures by the weekend. We're going to soar up near, if not above, 70 degrees. It's just the mornings that are going to get to us. Next rain chance not until late Thursday into Friday. We'll look at that on Future Track. And when do we get warmer? I don't just mean mornings, because we need that for sure to get out of the 20s and 30s and get back into the 40s, but the afternoons will find that pivot point, getting back into the mid to upper 60s and near 70. What are we tracking when it comes to anything code red? We always look ahead to the next big thing happening. It will be rain for Friday. We'll talk about how heavy it might be. We'll time it out for you and work you into that next chance for some decently warm weather coming up in the next Check Your Forecast. Justin.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get to the very latest happening on I-24. This is at Haywood Lane down in the Antioch area. You can see traffic over there moving along just fine. No break problems north, south, east, or west. I've just checked. The biggest issue we were dealing with a little bit earlier in the morning was a problem down in Coffee County. It's still there. It's just on the shoulder, not too far from the Pelham area on I-24. We have an overturned vehicle down there from around 10 o'clock last night, and crews are still out there working on that, but not causing huge delays out there for sure. Also, another crash down at I-840 and I-65. Also, same thing. Crash is there, but not causing big delays as crews just are working the leftovers. We'll continue to watch things for you, but right now we're doing okay. Well, today marks AG Day on the Hill. That is Agriculture Day for Tennessee farmers and agricultural workers. 2 lawmakers are now backing a bill that would require farm equipment makers to allow the farmers and mechanics to fix their own equipment. Now, currently, many manufacturers say that farmers must get their equipment fixed at the dealership or by a company technician. That keeps the farmers from fixing their own equipment or paying a local mechanic. And when it drives up the wait times to get that vehicle back and working again. Now, the Democratic Nashville Representative Justin Jones and the Memphis Senator Sarah Kyle are teaming up on the bill that would require farm equipment makers to give access to repair tools and diagnostics. A similar bill passed in Colorado just last year. The Tennessee bill is headed to the House Consumer Affairs Subcommittee later today. Well, coming up, former President Donald Trump wants a judge to change a decision about his Georgia election case. We'll explain. And 2 companies are joining forces to protect your eyes.
With 27 competitors.
This is the biggest tournament of champions ever.
Weeknights at 5 on Fox 17.
.39 is the time here on this Tuesday morning. Former President Donald Trump is now appealing a judge's decision not to disqualify the district attorney in the Georgia election case. Now, last week, a judge determined that Fonnie Willis could only continue if a special prosecutor says that she had a romantic relationship with stepped down. Nathan Wade left this case as a result of the judge's ruling. Now, the judge says that the relationship did not warrant a conflict of interest, but it did look improper. Trump and his other co-defendants says that Wade's removal doesn't go far enough to correct the situation. We'll see what a judge says. As the total eclipse approaches, 2 companies are now coming together to raise awareness on how to protect your eyes. Now, the total eclipse is set to happen coming up on April the 8th. But the once-in-a-lifetime event can cause permanent damage to your eyes if it is not properly protected. Eye care provider, My Eye Doctor, a national organization prevents blindness, are working together to provide free solar eclipse glasses. Starting next Monday, you can go to the My Eye Doctor store to pick up a free pair of these glasses. You can also check NASA's website to learn more about ways for safe viewership of the eclipse. The website, science.nasa.gov/eclipse/safety. I know Greg will be watching this very carefully himself.
Oh, we definitely will, and we'll be making sure that in a lot of the weather forecasts we do leading up to it, we know what the weather will be like and then kind of go through a lot of those safety tips just to make sure we're all good to go. And speaking of good to go, just checked in at BNA right now. Now, we're cold, but only 3 delays at the airport, no cancellations so far this morning. 34 degrees at 9 a.m., 48 at noon, and we'll be in the 50s to right near 60 later on this afternoon. So Nashville weather, as I was saying yesterday, and I'll be saying all the way through Thursday, is not going to be a problem for us to get going. At least your flight shouldn't have an issue here. It depends where you're going or where your plane may be coming from. Always check your flights in case. But winter coat this morning. This afternoon we'll have temperatures that will be right near 60. We'll find warmer temperatures and talk about Friday rain coming up in less than 10 minutes.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic for you as you get out and about this morning. Let's get you to I-40 at Donaldson Pike, very close to Nashville International Airport. As you can see out there, traffic moving along really nicely. No big problems out there at the airport. No big problems in any direction as you get out and about this morning. Certainly great news. We'll let you know if something does happen, but right now we're doing okay. Just a couple of leftover accidents from overnight, maybe the occasional construction project, but nothing that's going to hold you up in a big way. Well, coming up, Chattanooga auto workers will get a historic vote on whether or not to unionize. We're going to tell you why this is a big deal for Volkswagen. And YouTube video creators will have a brand new requirement to keep
RCM, a rare, underdiagnosed disease that worsens over time. Sound like you? Call your cardiologist and ask about ATTR-CM.
4:44 is the time. Volkswagen workers in Tennessee could become the very first foreign auto workers in the country to become unionized. 4,000 hourly workers at the Chattanooga plant will get the chance to vote on whether or not to join the Union Auto Workers. It is Volkswagen's only assembly plant in the United States and the company's only plant without union representation. Now, the UAW says the supermajority of the workers signed a card supporting union representation, but would not provide a number. The union won record raises and more in new contracts with Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis with the contract agreement they came up with last fall between the union and those auto workers. Well, the movie armorer Hannah Gutierrez Reed is now challenging her involuntary manslaughter conviction regarding the 2021 fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rust. Now, lawyers for Gutierrez Reed asked the judge to grant a new trial and release her from jail while she waits for that decision. They argue that the jury's instructions in this case were confusing. Now, Gutierrez Reed is currently scheduled to be sentenced coming up on April the 15th and faces up to 18 months in prison. The Environmental Protection Agency has now ordered a full ban on asbestos a decade after a partial ban was put into place. Now, asbestos is a cancer-causing chemical still used in some things like chlorine, bleach, brake pads, and other products. It kills thousands of Americans each year. Asbestos is already banned in more than 50 countries worldwide. Exposure can cause lung cancer as well as other types of cancers that are out there. Asbestos is also commonly used, or asbestos is also used in home installation very often. And tech news, YouTube will require creators to label videos that were made using artificial intelligence as part of the company's efforts to be more transparent about content that could confuse or mislead users. Now creators will see a checklist. They will upload content that looks realistic. It will ask if the video makes a person say or do something they didn't do, or alter footage of a real place or event, or show a scene that didn't actually occur. Online safety experts have raised alarms that AI-generated content could mislead users across the web, especially ahead of elections. Now, YouTube says creators could face consequences if they consistently fail to add a label to some of the content. What's happening today is the first day of spring. More specifically, it's the first day of Greg, help me out.
Astronomical.
Astronomical
spring.
That's all it is? It's astronomical spring?
Yeah.
It looks more complicated than that. Astronomical spring. That falls on a different day every year, apparently. It's the spring equinox, when daylight is closer to 12 hours long. This is the earliest in March that the equinox has fallen since 1896. Astronomical spring. Okay. So what do you think about that? Are you excited for spring? I don't know who in the world wouldn't be excited for spring. And the results show that. 90% of people out there say yes, they're excited for spring. If you too are excited for spring, you can scan the QR code here or head over to our X page. That's at Fox Nashville is where you can find us once you get there and join the band. Either 90% in favor of. There's 10% of you who say, nah, not excited for spring at all. Let's get to Greg right now, standing by to tell us more about the forecast. Greg,
yes.
What can you tell us about our first day of spring, which again doesn't begin until 10 p.m. tonight?
10 p.m. tonight. Okay, two things to tell you, Justin. First of all, I'm not AI. I don't know if you can read this or not. I promise you that. What I give you is going to be my personal information.
Good to know.
We got it covered right here. And yeah, astronomical spring, meteorological spring, all that blah, blah. What does it mean just broken down easily for you? It means that, you know, we have the 4 seasons. This is the one where we get that 12 hours of daylight at the equator, 12 hours a night. For us, we're not quite there yet, but we will get there. And then you go to the southern hemisphere. Think Australia. You go to Brazil, places like that. They're starting fall. So it depends on where you're at in the earth, but for us, we are going to shift. We're going from cold temperatures today, at least to start, to about 60 degrees this afternoon. Rain does move in late Thursday, and when I mean late, I mean very late, after about 7, 8 o'clock at night. And then some steady rainfall on and off throughout Friday. That's our next weather maker between now and then. Nothing to worry about, and no storms or severe weather. It will not be like last Thursday night into Friday morning, where we had the very aggressive thunderstorms that moved in. This is future track all the way from today through tomorrow, through Thursday. Are you seeing anything? No, you're not. We have sunshine today, tomorrow, and at least for most of the daylight hours of Thursday. Thursday does cloud up a touch. Here's 11 a.m. for your Thursday. And then by 7 o'clock, the rain begins to sneak into our westernmost counties, takes over overnight, and then we do have the scattered rainfall on and off throughout your day on Friday. That's the next day. You definitely need your umbrella today. Winter coats and sunglasses.
All right, everyone, steer clear traffic at 4:50 in the morning. Let's take a quick look here at I-65 at the I-24 junction north of town. As you can see, this is going to look really, really nice right now. No big problems here on the north side as you make that drive in from all the villes, as I say. Madison, Goodlettsville, Hendersonville, Millersville. You're doing just fine up there this morning. We'll continue to keep you up to date with whatever's happening on the roads. We got you covered live and local through 9 o'clock this morning. Well, Hyundai and Kia have announced brand new protections to prevent the car thefts that have been happening across the country that seem to be going up and up. Now, the companies say they will provide free software upgrades to vehicles that have been the targets of thieves related to a TikTok trend. Hyundai says that vehicles made between 2011 and 2022 with no push-button ignitions or engine immobilizers are affected by the thefts. That means about 4 million vehicles qualify. If your car can't use this update, you can receive a free ignition cylinder protector. The automaker is also launching mobile software installation clinics in more than a dozen cities and could expand these efforts coming up in the future. Well, an investigation finds that brain scans of patients with Havana syndrome showed no evidence of any injury. The mysterious brain injuries were first reported among the United States Embassy staff in Cuba back in 2016. Symptoms include dizziness, head pressure, and headaches. Researchers with the National Institutes of Health conducted 2 studies comparing patients who reported the illness with a healthy control group. They found no consistent evidence of brain injury and no significant difference between the 2 groups. Well, coming up, there's no place like home. That's what they say in The Wizard of Oz, of course. And those ruby red slippers from the movie are back in their home. That's after being on the run here after the high-profile theft. We're going to tell you where they found them and how they ended up back where they belong. And your doctor's office may be sending you lots of
with daily nutrients. 2. Helps digestive health. Yeah, I'm doing it. 3. Probiotics by the billions. I'm not new to it. Activia. Your gut is where it all begins.
4:55 is the time. Live look there across Lower Broadway. Bridgestone Arena in the backdrop. I mentioned it yesterday, but it's worth mentioning again. Busy week there at Bridgestone Arena. Of course, the Preds there tonight hosting the San Jose Sharks. Then, of course, Dan and Shay will be there later in the week. Then Mike Epps. Then Nicki Minaj. There's something for everybody at Bridgestone Arena coming up here this week. Across the state, we're taking a look over in Johnson City, Tennessee. That is over in the eastern part of the state. That is where East Tennessee State University has its eye on a bald eagle nest. Take a look right there. You can see it for yourself, and that bald eagle is home. Sometimes we watch and the bald eagle isn't always there. But the night vision camera seeing one of those adult eagles sitting on the edge of the nest. Now, at least one gray check is right there next to the parent as well. So that is good to see. If you look very closely, you can check it out for yourself. Of course, again, ETSU, that is Eastern Tennessee State University, is sponsoring this camera over there in Johnson City. They've got it up 24/7.
4:56, it is that time of the year when we're going to start seeing a lot of baby animals out there. All kinds of them, and especially the bunny rabbits. Watch for them when you start mowing the lawn. The little guys that are out there, it's around that time of the year too. Taking a look, winter weather alerts, very similar to yesterday. Same counties, same freeze warning. Colder for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're in a warning or not. We have temps in the 20s, and that's where we're going to be for the next couple of hours. So welcome to spring, or I mean winter, or where are we? We're at 20 degrees right now in some spots, but we're going to be up near 60 later on this afternoon. We're tracking our next rain chance. That moves in after sunset on Thursday, and then scattered showers on and off for Friday. We will get warmer. Today, only 60 degrees. This is the coolest day in the forecast until the middle of next week. Every day gets warmer, but a nice crisp 29 degrees. You would almost think that the camera's static right now over Lower Broadway. Not much happening so far for us this morning, and I anticipate that picks up pretty quickly. We'll start seeing all the dumpsters and construction going on in a little bit. 23 actual air temperature in Gallatin, 25 in Murfreesboro, 23 in Tullahoma. We're a good 8 to 10 degrees cooler than the same time this morning as we were yesterday at this time in the morning. Keep that in mind. 60 later today, sunshine is going to mean sunglasses and winter coats for this one.
Steer clear traffic at 458. Quick look outside at I-24 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is over in the Antioch area. Cane Ridge, as you can see, traffic moving along very nicely out there in that area. No big problems in either direction. We're doing just fine. Really, we are. We'll continue to keep you updated throughout the morning, but no big problems right now. And we do anticipate the traffic picking up for sure a little bit later. Well, there is truly no place like home for a legendary pair of ruby red slippers. The iconic shoes worn by Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz were finally able to return to their owner, Michael Shaw. Now, the shoes, worth roughly $3.5 million, were stolen from Garland's namesake museum in Michigan back in 2005. 2 men have since been charged. The shoes were recovered back in 2018, and yesterday the FBI released photos of them being returned to Shaw. Now, if they were recovered in 2018, why did it take them 6 years to get back to the owner? But that, I guess, is a story for another day. Shaw says the shoes will embark on a worldwide tour before being auctioned off later this year. All right. Well, your doctors already know how to give you reminders for your appointments. And some of you think you get way too many reminders about your upcoming appointment. Well, now there's something new about those appointment reminders. Some health providers are working to streamline these reminders so patients don't miss appointments, but don't get spammed either nonstop. You may have noticed lately all sorts of reminders of upcoming appointments by phone, by text, and email. That's because there can be multiple systems in place to help keep the office running. Well, physicians are now interested in cutting down on some of the missed appointments out there. So, because they are trying to because of that, they're trying to cut the practice of the money. They're trying to do what they can to make sure that people get to their appointments on time. Your 5 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Right now on Fox 17 News This Morning, the shooting death of Jillian Ludwig in Nashville now leading to new laws, plus new charges against the man connected to her death.
And new clues in the disappearance of 22-year-old Riley Strain. A closer look at new video and what Riley's family has to say about it. Greg.
17. It feels like 17 in one of our neighborhoods right now, but we'll be 60 later today, and it's the first day of spring. All the good things ahead in your Code Red forecast.
All right, so it feels like 17, but it's the first day of spring.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take it. Hey, happy Tuesday. Thanks so much for waking up with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get started with our top stories this hour. Right now, new charges are being filed in the shooting death of Belmont University student Jillian Ludwig. She was at Belmont University when she was out on a walk and ended up shot dead. Shaquille Taylor now facing multiple charges for firing that gun as Jillian was walking in Edge Hill Park.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Jen, Ludwig was shot in the head and then died at a hospital days later. Court records state that Shaquille Taylor now faces a felony murder charge. That is in addition to the previous charge of felony aggravated assault. The tampering with evidence charge, though, also upgraded now to a felony offense.
Now to kick off this Tuesday morning, a few of the other top headlines you'll want to know about before you head out the door. We begin with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is sending a team of officials to D.C. as the U.S. voices concerns about a possible military operation in Rafah. The meeting could happen as soon as the end of this week.
We're also following conflict in Haiti as U.S. citizens are evacuating, and the State Department is running charter flights. We understand gang attacks in Haiti really started escalating earlier this month. The State Department says they will continue the evacuation flights as long as possible.
President Biden heads to Vegas today. According to his campaign, the president is continuing the promise that he made to visit all battleground states. The president expected to visit Arizona following his Nevada stop.
At 5:02, we do want to have continuing coverage in the search for missing 22-year-old college student Riley Strain. We're now getting another look at video from Metro Police, and it shows a brief encounter between an officer and Strain the night he disappeared.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
All right, so that was the brief encounter Erica just mentioned. Police releasing this video yesterday, 10 days after 22-year-old Riley Strain vanished after being asked to leave a downtown Nashville bar. That exchange happened on Gay Street, south of the Woodland Street Bridge. Metro Police say that Riley did not seem distressed, adding that the officer had been on Gay Street for a burglary call and was hanging out there for about 45 minutes after that encounter with Riley Strain. Now, the video's release comes after TikTokers found Riley's debit card along the bank of the Cumberland River over the weekend. We talked with Riley Strain's family, telling us they are concerned over how the case is being handled. They want to know why it took 2 days to assign a detective to the case.
I wish something would have been done sooner. We've discussed this. The first 48 is so crucial. You know, don't shoot the messenger, but I think if we had people with badges right now that was covering this as strongly as the media has, we'd have Riley home.
Metro Police tell Fox 17 News there is no evidence of foul play in the case, and officers have met with Riley's parents to give them full updates.
And to help give some more context, we're taking a closer look at the path that 22-year-old reportedly took. We have video right behind us here, and we know that the police body camera video was recorded as Riley walked by the officer that was on Gay Street downtown. So we can see that Gay Street located right here. I circled it. Right after that video, Riley continued to walk north up on Gay Street, okay? Then a block away, we find 2 more clues for this particular case. Riley's cell phone last pinged over at James Robertson Parkway. So that is where that cell phone again last pinged for this particular case. And just below that area, one of Riley's bank cards that we talked about yesterday was found on the riverbank. If you want to read more about this case, go to fox17.com and search Riley Strain.
5:05 every time I mention one of our neighborhoods feeling like 17 degrees this morning. That is no joke. Here's the oh, it went up. Well, now it's making a liar of me. Clarksville, you were at 17 5 minutes ago. You feel like 19 right now. Wind chill values across the board are a good 10 to 15 degrees cooler than yesterday morning. 25 the feels like in Nashville, 22 in Murfreesboro, and 23 in Gallatin. We're going to be up near 60 this afternoon, but this morning you're going to have frost on windshields if you parked outside, and you're going to have a cold start until at least 9 o'clock this morning. Keep that in mind. Now, we have no freeze warning for most of Middle Tennessee because our latest spring freeze dates that we've ever seen on record, well, they're far into the future here depending upon where you live. Latest freeze in Nashville back in 1910 was April 25th. And that does tell us that a few dates could have a freeze in April. Clarksville, May 9th was the latest freeze where the temperature hit or went below 32 degrees as late as May 9th. In Crossville, obviously upper elevation, you can get that one burst of some cold air. May 28th back in 1961. So we're not in the clear yet when it comes to the cold for sure, but definitely one of those kind of tail end events where we might get a day or two here and there. 34 degrees at BNA right now, 48 degrees, I should say 34 at 9 o'clock, 48 at noon, 56 degrees later on this afternoon. Only 3 delays at the airport right now, so if you're heading out that direction, it's cold, but it is clear to kick off today.
Greg, thank you. We have some breaking news in steer clear traffic right now. Just getting reports of a crash involving several cars on I-840 at I-65. This is south of Nashville. So for folks waking up with us south of Nashville down in Thompson Station, if you use 840 right there at I-65, just know that TDOT is reporting. Right now the crash is in let's see here, Well, it's interesting. So they're saying that it's impacting I-65 southbound. So I-840 impacting your ability to jump on I-65 and go south of Thompson Station. So if you were going to maybe go down towards Spring Hill or Columbia, we'll monitor this for you. The crash is way off in the distance in this particular camera view, but we'll let you know if it starts to impact traffic again in just a few minutes.
Coming up, though, after an Amber Alert overnight, 2 girls from the Mid-State found across state lines. We're going to talk about the charges their mother is now facing.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It's 5:10, and we have an update now from Tullahoma, where police have confirmed the body of a missing man, in fact, was found over the weekend in a wooded area.
Dylan Peluso, right here behind us, was reported missing after a disturbance call. That was back on March 7th. Police say they then found his body in the woods off of North College Street Sunday. The cause of death, though, not yet been released. Police say they are continuing to investigate.
And we have another update this morning in the case of 2 children reported missing from Shelbyville. They've now been found safe, and their mother, who does not have custody, is facing charges.
Now, TBI says Journey and Daly Garrett, right here on your screen, were found in Alabama last night. There was an Amber Alert issued around 7 o'clock Monday. 7 o'clock p.m. The TBI says both girls were last seen in Shelbyville March 13th.
The mom, Casey Campbell, facing a list of charges. By the way, this is a story that really caught our interest yesterday. One of the reasons being many people reported not getting the Amber Alert for children that were involved here. So if that was something that you experienced, let us know. We've got a whole thread about it over on our Fox Nashville Facebook page.
Right now, first day of spring, chilly start, but warm weather on the way.
Warm weather is on the way. Just get to the afternoon, and then we're done with the 20s and 30s in the morning for the rest of the week. Rain moving in late Thursday into Friday. Looking at that next weather maker, steady rainfall on and off throughout Friday. What I mean by steady is it's not raining every hour of the day, but when these batches move in, they're going to last more than 10, 15 minutes. You're going to get steady periods of rainfall on and off throughout the day. No storms, no severe weather, not like last Thursday into Friday. None of that going on the radar overnight. Don't worry about it. Taking a look today and tomorrow, future track is letting it roll. Had the sunglasses ready, had the winter coat this morning, but know that as soon as tomorrow, we'll be in the upper 60s and we'll be in the mid 60s as we go into your Thursday. I stopped this at 11 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, though, because we do have some cloud cover that moves in. I'm stopping you right here, 7 p.m. on Thursday. Rain moves in at this time period. We're going to pick right up where we left off in the next check of your Code Red forecast in less than 10 minutes.
Greg, thank you so much. We do want to check back in on your Steer Clear traffic update to let you know about an incident happening at I-65 southbound in Williamson. It is reported by TDOT as a multi-vehicle crash, and you're looking off in the distance. You can see the flashing lights, but you're really not getting a good view of it. The camera that we're showing you is the I-840 at I-65. That's the closest look that we can get at this particular crash. So if you're heading out to this area, just be mindful of it. Again, it's I-65 southbound in Williamson, multi-vehicle crash. We'll continue following and give you any updates that we get here on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning.
Coming up in a few minutes, I'll have an update on a possible change to TSU's governing board.
Doctor, if Botox is right for you. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Botox.
Good morning and happy first day of spring to you. We are off to a chilly start, taking a live look over at the Nashville Stadium. The Nissan Stadium. I'm gonna get it right. Okay, listen, we're gonna have some warmer temperatures as we talk about Wednesday and Thursday. But yeah, first day of spring, you're gonna want your winter coat. I know a lot of folks are on spring break. Maybe you're heading out to this area. Maybe you're noticing some of the ongoing construction that is picking off over at Nissan Stadium. We're gonna have some more live looks and tell you about your full forecast in a couple of minutes. Look at there, my camera not working anymore. Okay.
I think that the student's perspective and the student point of view has not been truly brought into this conversation.
Okay, so when you were in college, how much did you care about the governing board? Could you name any member of the board at the school where you attended? Well, board issues at Tennessee State University are now front and center as state lawmakers are pushing forward a bill to remove 3 of those members.
And that idea is just not sitting well with some students. Right now, Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live from the state capitol after some lawmakers, Karen, are calling this a good compromise and others, well, they disagree.
That's right, Erica. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are calling it a good compromise after yesterday the vote passed at the state capitol behind me to amend an original bill that aimed to remove all TSU board members. The House Government Operations Committee voted to just cut 3 board members. This comes after the Senate passed legislation last week to get rid of all 10 members. There's been controversy over the removal of board members after state officials criticized TSU for not being run the way it should be. TSU alleging they've been underfunded. Following yesterday's vote, TSU students held a press conference. They are frustrated because they say they don't have a voice in the process, like Student Government Association President Darrell Taylor, who represents more than 7,000 students.
This keeps the entire board from being vacated. You never want to do that.
We're not the most supportive of any members getting removed, but the less disruptive it is to our student body and to our campus, that's what it is.
Tennessee representatives say that the bill could potentially move to the House floor next week. Coming up at 5:30, you'll hear from some of the lawmakers. Reporting live in front of the state capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. In national headlines now, the U.S. Supreme Court is extending its block on a sweeping Texas immigration law. And the law would give state law enforcement the power to arrest people suspected of entering the country illegally. The order signed by Justice Samuel Alito indefinitely prevents Texas from enforcing the measure as the legal battle does play out. The Justice Department, though, arguing the legislation would conflict with the federal immigration law. Governor Greg Abbott over in Texas says it's necessary to deter illegal crossings at our southern border.
Taking a look at headlines across the nation this morning, we continue our coverage as 5 students from the University of Georgia are now being called heroes after their road trip turned into a life-saving mission. Watch here, these girls traveling to Savannah, Georgia Saturday when they saw a car veer off into a creek. The car you see right here. Well, those young ladies immediately dove into the water and pulled 2 children and an adult out of this car. Now, we still don't know what caused that accident, but the Burke County Sheriff's Office, where it all happened, says these girls were at the right place at the right time.
A godsend. Oh my goodness, fantastic. We do want to check in now because you still need your winter coat. It is spring, but don't be fooled.
If you woke up in the middle of December and walked outside, you'd go, okay.
But it's
typical day, but it's
mid-March.
It's the first day of
But
spring.
when you have sunshine, it's more bearable.
You were mentioning running yesterday and how great it felt.
Yeah.
You know, a little later in the day. Today is the same way. Just get through 10 o'clock this morning and you'll be fantastic. Up near 60 later on this afternoon. As promised, right where we left off on Future Track. This is 7 o'clock. Next chance for rain is not until after 7 p.m. on Thursday. All of today, all of tomorrow, and all of the daylight hours of your Thursday are fantastic. Here's the timing. And now this is so far out that you don't get the tiny little pop-ups here. You get a more broad look at what's going to happen. Scattered showers overnight going into Friday morning, and then a few more on and off throughout the day on Friday. This looks like it's very overspread, and we're raining the entire day. We're not raining the entire day, but there will be areas of some decent, steady rainfall that last a couple of hours. You get a break, you get a few more of them, and they're out of here by the time we get to Saturday. Weekend dries out. Weekend is excellent. Take a look here. 7-day forecast. Really, after this cold start to this morning, that's it. We're okay. 60 today, 68 degrees tomorrow, upper 60s going into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And Sunday, we could hit near 70 degrees with nighttime temperatures back near the 50s. Start making your weekend plans right now for any time of the day. I mean, why not? Look at that. Upper 60s near 70.
Steer clear traffic out there for you at I-65 at Trinity Lane, just north of downtown. As you can see, traffic there moving along very nicely. No big problems in either direction so far out there this morning. But this picture will soon change. In an hour, it won't look like this. It'll be far more crowded than this as people continue to wake up and make their way down from that north side. So take advantage. If you know you got to come this way, this is a great time to get out and about while you still can there from that north side. Other areas areas of town also looking pretty good. 24 at Harding, making that drive in from Antioch. We'll have your latest drive times coming up in just a few.
Justin, thank you. 521 right now. A massive database of AT&T records reportedly now available on the dark web, especially concerning because if you get into the dark web, there are nefarious players who are selling information for pennies on the dollar.
We're getting updates from cybernews.com that includes 70 million records being impacted. And it's everything from names, addresses, and social security numbers. And this hack, it went down back in 2021. The original criminal group wanted $200,000 for the data. Now there is a new seller. And while the data seems to be accurate, AT&T says they have no indications their systems were compromised and that it did not come from them. But researchers say many of those exposed users appear to have AT&T accounts. And then I think back to when the data went down for AT&T.
Sure.
Have some questions.
All right. It is 5:22 now, and the Williamson County School Board is taking a local stance on
savings of up to 40% off in every department. Plus, get up to 36 months free financing. It's Markdown Mania at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
5:24 is the time, and new this morning, the Williamson County School Board has now voted against any school voucher program put on by the state of Tennessee. Of course, we know there are at least 3 school voucher programs that are out there, one put on by the Senate, another one by the House, and another one by the governor's office. But the Williamson County School Board has voted overnight that they're against just about all of them. One school board member put it this way.
In the 14 years since I was first elected, I can't think of anything more impactful than this legislation right here. So if we're not going to speak up on this, then what? And if we're not going to be the ones to speak up on it as the elected representatives of the community that set policy for Williamson County School Board, then who?
Now, some other school board members felt like they should not be voting on this because they don't have any control over this at all. Several other school boards across the mid-state have also spoken up about this. Many of them also voted against the school voucher program. Of course, it continues to make its way through the state legislature. They are the ones who are ultimately going to have a say about whether or not there will be a voucher program and exactly what it will look like. If it does pass, it will be up to local school boards to implement what the state passes.
5:25, looking at your forecast, getting toward the weekend today. Yes, cold, winter coat, 20s, cold through 10 o'clock. 60 later on this afternoon, and chilly just for the morning. A little bit below average throughout the entire day, but warmer than yesterday and a sign of things to come. Sunset for us will be at 6:58. Beautiful sunrise and sunset, barely a cloud in the sky all day long. How do you track what's coming our way? This is that time of the year where every day can be so drastically different when it comes to temperature. Get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. If it's already on your phone, you know what also helps you out for severe weather? It'll alert you only to your county when you have severe weather. It's also great at night when we have storms that move in. Weekend outlook. There you go. 68 degrees on Saturday, 70 on Sunday. Great looking weekend ahead. We're looking rain-free both of those days, but we're not rain-free for all of the time leading up to the weekend. Thursday into Friday, still a chance for some showers. We'll track for you. We'll also look at the entire 7-day forecast coming up as soon as we start our 5:30 half hour, just to know exactly what's coming our way for this first, well, abbreviated week of spring.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you out to I-24 at Harding Place coming in from the Antioch area. You can see traffic moving along there very nicely there, coming in from places like Laverne and Smyrna, ultimately from Murfreesboro. We're doing just fine. Overall drive times look like this. Mount Juliet coming in at 25 minutes. Murfreesboro, 49 minutes on that drive. Kingston Springs, 27 minutes on that drive. Could not ask for a better start. The question is, how will we progress an hour from now? How will things look by the time you're getting out the door? We've got answers for you coming up a little bit later.
There are some changes to a bill that aimed to remove all TSU board members coming up in a few minutes. I'll tell you what those changes are and what it means to TSU students.
Plus, 2 lawmakers want to give
weeknights at 5 on Fox 17.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Electronic Express. We make it happen. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. It is 5:30. It's not often that there is a statewide focus on a governing board at a college or a university, but that's what's going down at TSU. Changes to the Board of Trustees. We'll tell you what students and lawmakers have to say about it.
Waking up this morning, here we are calm and even. Colder, teens and low 20s for wind chill when we finally sneak into spring coming up in your forecast.
Okay, thank you so much for waking up with us here bright and early on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Getting to our top story this half hour, we go to Tennessee State University. I was mentioning just a moment ago, it's not often that you get so much attention focused on a governing board at a college or university, but that is what's happening at TSU because Tennessee lawmakers have said the board has not been operating fully or as it should, and so they want to get rid of now 3 members of that governing board, and that number 3 is an update and something new that could be a compromise in this controversy.
We're going to go to the Capitol there where Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live in that area with reaction from lawmakers and students who say they have long been underfunded over at TSU.
Absolutely, and as Jen mentioned, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say that it is a good compromise. It's a step in the right direction. And the original bill aimed to remove all TSU board members, which could drastically change the way TSU is run, which of course in the long run affects students who have expressed their frustrations, as you mentioned, Erica. But yesterday at the state capitol behind me, the House Government Operations Committee passed an amendment to the original bill that would only remove 3 members. Lawmakers say that this is a way to try to get something better done for TSU students. Some say the vote to amend the bill is progress from where it was headed before. The Senate passed a bill last week to get rid of all 10 members of the TSU Board of Trustees. That version of the bill would leave it to Governor Bill Lee to appoint new members. A representative tells Fox 17 News that the House amended bill could potentially move to the House floor next week. Here are how some lawmakers reacted to yesterday's vote on the amendment.
With the amendment, that is the structure of the bill as it has been already stated.
This keeps the entire board from being vacated. You never want to do that.
After the vote passed, TSU students held a press conference expressing their frustrations on not being a part of this process. Coming up at 6 o'clock, you'll hear from some of them. Reporting live from the state capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you. Just about 5:33, and we do have continuing coverage of the construction going on over at Nissan Stadium. One of our photojournalists, Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey, is right there, zooming out, giving you a look at what's happening over there. And I was running there earlier this week. Man, it's busy.
It is busy. You know, they finally did that official grand, not opening, but the shovel to the dirt, right? The groundbreaking, you could say, for the brand new Nissan Stadium. It is important to note that as we track the progress on the new stadium, this is a 3-year-long project, and the current Nissan Stadium will stay until they get the new place built, and then they'll demolish it. We know that there's been a push to create a special board to oversee this development. We just had a big meeting yesterday, in fact, regarding the East Bank development, and so we'll be bringing you updates on that right here on Fox 17 News this morning.
We also want to let you know that a silver alert has been issued for 73-year-old right behind me here, Glenn Farr, missing out of Cumberland County. He was last seen, folks say, over in Clarksville back on March 13th, wearing blue jeans, a dark blue shirt, a light blue plaid jacket. He's about 5'8", 162 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes. We're told that Glenn does have a medical condition that impairs his ability to return safely without some sort of assistance. He may be traveling in a red 2003 Ford Ranger, Tennessee tag 615BCLV. If you have any information that could help track him down, you are asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Time right now, 5:34, taking a look at a cold start to the morning. Same counties as yesterday are under a freeze warning once again through 9 a.m. And just because Middle Tennessee, the heart of Middle Tennessee, is not under one, well, we're a little too early in the game to have our freeze and frost protocols put into place from the Weather Service, just because our latest freeze of the year is typically right around the end of this month, a good 10, 14 days away from now. Once we get past that point, mornings like this will be a little more atypical. Welcome to spring after the winter start. We feel like we're in the teens and 20s. Bundle it up this time, even more so than yesterday. We're tracking some rain later this week that will take us into late Thursday and Friday. And then we do get warmer by the end of the week. I promise you, some days that'll be near 70 degrees. Now, how does the rain look for later this week? Are we going code red? Are we worried about thunderstorms? No, this right now is trending to be just scattered, steady, light to moderate rainfall throughout chunks of your Friday that we'll look at coming up on Future Track.
Steer clear traffic out here for you this morning. Let's get you to I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway as you make that drive in from Antioch. We are looking fine out there right now. The key word is, or two words in this case, is right now. Coming up here a little bit later, things are going to crowd up in a big way as you make that drive in from Laverne and Smyrna and from Antioch out here near the Tanger outlets. All of this will start to crowd up here. School is back in session across Metro Nashville. It is out for others like Sumner County who are out this week. So the traffic patterns are going to be a little bit wonky. Right now, though, looking smooth sailing no matter where you're coming from. If you're the first person in the office, you got good time to get there.
Justin, thank you. Happening today, we are marking Ag Day on the Hill for Tennessee farmers and agriculture. Two lawmakers are backing a bill that would require farm equipment makers to allow farmers and mechanics to fix their own equipment.
Now, you might not have realized this, but currently many of those equipment manufacturers say that the farmers have to get that equipment fixed at the dealership or by a company technician. And that keeps farmers from fixing the equipment on their own, or perhaps paying a local mechanic, which could save them money. It also drives up the wait times to get back to work. Democratic Nashville Representative Justin Jones and Memphis Senator Sarah Kyle are teaming up on a bill that would require farm equipment makers to give access to repair tools and diagnostics. A similar bill passed in Colorado last year. The Tennessee bill is now headed to the House Consumer Affairs Subcommittee. Today, we'll let you know what happens next.
If you're not familiar, those prices, they can gouge you. Coming up, the latest efforts by Tennessee lawmakers to save you money when it comes to your pharmacy visits.
And AI has made its way to March Madness.
6 months free financing. It's Markdown Mania at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
5:40 is the time. Right now we have a health news update. There is a Tennessee bill that would make sure you save money at the pharmacy when possible.
That could save you a lot of money. The plan requires pharmacists to let us know about the lowest cost of a prescription drug. You don't always get that, right? You go in, you get your prescription filled, they fill it, and they don't always tell you that, hey, you gotta save some money if you use the other option. Well, this bill aims to fight against all of us having to pay higher copays and more for the prescriptions themselves when you sometimes could get a cheaper price even if you don't use your insurance.
The legislation, by the way, is set to be heard by the House Health Committee on Wednesday. See, I always stop and ask, is there a cheaper version before I pay? Do you ever do that?
I do. But this, if it goes through, would require pharmacists to tell you up front.
So we don't have to ask.
Fewer questions, more solutions. Isn't that how life should be in general? Taking a look here. What are the questions getting out the door when it comes to weather? This morning we are very cold. Lunchtime, it'll be very similar to yesterday, where you're going to start the first few hours of sunrise cold. We'll be at 44 degrees at 11 a.m. Not all that great, but by the afternoon, well into the 50s, temperatures will climb up near 60 right in the middle of the day. So I would say after 1 o'clock, by about 3 p.m., we'll be at our peak heating of the day. Washer weight today, good. Tomorrow, good. Thursday, daylight hours. Rain-free. Problem is, we have rain that moves in after 7 p.m. and then will linger into Friday. And if you're going to be parking outside or even just driving around town on Friday, likelihood of getting rain pretty good. So I would say either do it today or tomorrow or wait until Saturday and everything will look much better for you, because Friday is the big rainmaker day. The weekend itself, really, really nice. For the first weekend of spring, we'll have temperatures up near 70. We'll hone in on that in more detail in just a few minutes.
Still clear traffic out there for you. Let's get over to I-24 Bradley Parkway. You can see for yourself how traffic is moving and grooving this morning. We're doing just fine over there in the Antioch area. No big problems, no big holdups, at least not yet. Things will change as more and more traffic gets out there throughout the morning. But so far, we've done fine. We did have an earlier crash out in the Coffee County area. Thankfully, we've been able to get that out of the way. We'll continue to watch it for you throughout the morning.
A major first for auto workers. Coming up, we're talking about the efforts to unionize Volkswagen.
And search after search across Middle Tennessee. The push to bring home people who are missing and
40% off in every department. Plus, get up to 36 months free financing. It's Markdown Mania at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Missing persons cases have been making headlines several times recently here in Nashville and really across Middle Tennessee. Riley Strain's disappearance has been a media focal point. All of us here really trying to connect the dots.
Yeah, for sure. Helping the family get answers, helping the public get answers. We've got folks out there on their own doing work trying to bring people home. And as these play out day after day, there are other recent missing persons cases that are still unsolved in the greater Nashville area. Fox 17 News anchor Megan O'Halloran shows us.
While Riley Strain has been missing since March 8th, last seen leaving a Broadway bar, one day before that, 53-year-old Sean Beery was reported missing in Clarksville. Beery works at a local Goodwill store and contacted his employer March 8th, saying he would be in the next day for work but never showed. He stands 6 feet tall and weighs approximately 185 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. And a day before Beery's disappearance on March 7th, a desperate plea from the mother of 36-year-old Dylan Peluso. She said her son was last seen around 5:20 p.m. leaving his apartment on College Street in Tullahoma after getting into a fight. He hadn't been seen since that disturbance call until Sunday, March 17th. Police say Peluso's body was found in a wooded area on North College Street. There has been no determination on cause of death, and an autopsy is pending. Meanwhile, the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers carries on without any significant new leads. His mother reported the Sumner County autistic teenager missing Monday, February 26th, saying she last saw her son as they were getting ready for bed the night before. Police agencies and search crews have canvassed more than 2,000 miles, searching for Sebastian. Police have combed through a Kentucky landfill, searched neighborhoods, highways, and even checked nearby caves. Dive teams have covered underwater areas, and helicopters have used infrared thermal technology trying to track Sebastian from the sky.
Megan O'Halloran with that report. It is 5:48 now, and no matter what your plans are for today, it's the first day of spring. Yes. I know a lot of you have been waiting. Now, it doesn't officially kick off until later tonight, but it is the first day of astronomical spring versus meteorological spring. It is the equinox, when daylight is closest to 12 hours long. And by the way, this is the earliest in March that this has happened since 1996.
All right, I'm happy with that. We want to know what you think about this. Are you excited for spring? Overwhelmingly, you all are. 90.1% say, yeah, we're pretty happy to be here.
I'm wondering if the folks who say no have really bad allergies.
Well, there are some folks I saw on Facebook. They love winter.
Well, you know, I love a good snow.
Bye, Jen. We're not doing this. Absolutely not.
All right.
To cast your vote, let us know what you think by heading over to our Fox Nashville X account. Maybe you're like Jen and you just love snow.
Or maybe you're like me and you know that anything can happen in Middle Tennessee in March and April.
I'm planting my flowers.
Go ahead. Greg told you, though. What did Greg tell you?
Let's go to Greg.
What did Greg say about the flowers?
Greg said anything could happen between now.
No, Greg said.
But I can't wait.
April 1st. He said, wait.
That's April Fool's.
What if we get a snow between now and then, Greg? Y'all, you know.
Our last average freeze in Nashville is March 31st.
I will be so mad.
Slide out of the picture here.
No, because
she's going to start swinging at me.
You'll go plant when it's 70 degrees this weekend, and then on Monday, when I have freezing temperatures on Thursday, and next week you'll go, what's happening? Wait till April, please. You will all be much happier, and it will also help a little bit.
Excited.
Plants are expensive, you know.
You don't want to. I know you hate wasting money.
I do hate wasting money.
So don't waste your money.
All right.
Or do it this way. Plant what you can. They can be in pots you can bring into the garage. That way, if you know anything's going to happen or bring indoors, then everything is safe. But I would say anything in the ground, give it a little bit longer. And yes, this is not meteorological spring. It's astronomical spring. It's the equinox. It's the blah. All that means is that 12 hours of daylight and darkness right at the equator, and this is that day when everywhere north of the equator, hence us, start to see much quicker daylight expanding onto our clocks each and every day. We're going to be up to 60 degrees later today. Right now, right side of your screen, wind chills are in the teens and 20s. Actual temperatures are in the 20s to right near 30. So I would say hold off on planting for a little while, and we'll look ahead to a really nice weekend, though, regardless. Make the afternoon plans.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get to I-65 at Armory Drive there on the south side. If you've got that doctor's appointment there at 100 Oaks, you're doing just fine out there this morning. No big problems in either direction so far, but things will change. Here are your overall drive times. Mount Juliet at 25 minutes, Murfreesboro 49 minutes, Kingston Springs at 27 minutes from the west side.
Justin, thank you. Let's talk about sports. Basketball fans are turning to artificial intelligence for their March Madness brackets. Some analysts say it might not be your best bet, though. While AI can calculate statistics to provide an informed answer on a game, analysts say it's the human element, thank goodness, that really makes it harder to make a prediction.
Yeah, what if somebody has a bad day? What if somebody has a really great day? Artificial intelligence can't tell you that. Some coders are looking at what stats matter the most if you're trying to pick a team to win it all, though, such as free throw percentages, home and away records, and second half point totals. So if you're out there and you're thinking, ooh, can I have, for example, ChatGPT tell me who's going to win March Madness? Don't bank on it. These models have not been refined. They are not even close to being 100% accurate on stuff like this. Some bracket experts say there will never be a method that includes every factor that could play out on the court.
And that's good.
Exactly.
Let's have some fun without the AI.
Good old-fashioned way.
Okay, Volkswagen workers in Tennessee could become the first foreign auto workers in the country to go ahead and become unionized. We're updating this story for you this Tuesday morning. 4,000 hourly workers at the Chattanooga plant will get a chance to vote on whether to join the United Auto Workers Union. It's Volkswagen's only assembly plant in the U.S. and the company's only plant without union representation.
All right, so the UAW says a supermajority of workers did sign cards supporting going into a union, but they didn't give a number. The union won record raises and more in new contracts with Ford, General Motors, Stellantis. You may remember when all that was happening last fall, so we'll let you know whether those Volkswagen workers in Chattanooga do the same.
Talking about cars, continuing coverage of the rampant car thefts across the country. The latest efforts by car manufacturers to hopefully deter thieves.
And a recall you'll want to know.
A local team of experienced roofing warriors will make your roof a fortress of protection for your family. Force Roofing Systems, providing protection against the storm, today and every day.
Welcome back. 5:55 is the time. Right now we're showing you a live look at the chilly Nashville skyline. Yeah, it's cold out there, not gonna lie. It is the first day of spring though, so you have that to look forward to. The flowers are budding, the bees are buzzing, and Jen still likes winter.
I'm holding out hope that maybe we get a little flurry.
No.
Just maybe. Or not. But we'll let you know if anything does change that drastically, as we're your live local news source through 9 a.m. All right, let's talk about the recall I mentioned just a moment ago. We have a brand of Trader Joe's cashews being recalled over salmonella concerns. Let's take a look at the picture so you know whether you need to ditch them from your pantry.
Well, look at this. The recall involves some of the Trader Joe's 50% less sodium roasted and salted whole cashews. The FDA says during routine testing, some of the recalled product tested positive for salmonella.
All right, so these, as Erica mentioned, specifically the 50% less sodium cashews at Trader Joe's, sold in 16 states, yes, including Tennessee. So far, the good news here, no illnesses reported, but obviously, salmonella contamination would be of big concern. So if you've got these cashews from Trader Joe's, you can throw them out or return them for a full refund. This is, by the way, the second food recall that Trader Joe's has had in just the last month.
Okay, so I talked about how chilly it is outside. You still need your winter coat, but maybe not Wednesday or Thursday or this weekend.
This is the last morning, and then you can just have a lighter jacket to get out the door, and then the afternoons will all be in the 60s. Right now, we are cold. And one day that'll be our kind of pivotal day for the umbrella is going to be Friday. This is Thursday into Friday morning. Fast forward it because between now and then, sun today, sun tomorrow, a few clouds Thursday during the daylight hours, and then we're good. Here's the overnight going into Friday. Some scattered showers will be there as you're waking up Friday morning and then on and off throughout the afternoon hours. This is not going to rain all day. This is overblowing how much we're going to see in terms of every single hour with rain. But every hour will have rain on the radar. It'll be in pockets, though, as it moves in. And this look at future track will get a little more condensed when it comes down to pinpointing those little cells as we get closer to Friday itself. But just know that's a day we're watching very carefully, not for severe weather or thunderstorms, but inconveniences even into the evening hours, the chance for rain. So if you have Friday evening plans, do not discount the chance there could be some showers out there while you're out and about.
Steer clear traffic. Let's get to it at I-65, the I-24 junction there on the north side of town. You can see how traffic is starting to slow down and bunch up there as you make that drive in from Madison and from Goodlettsville and all of that coming in there from that north side. So please keep that in mind. Things are going to start to back up and towards the camera here a little bit and cost you an extra 5 to 10, 15 minutes. Ellington Parkway, a good way to steer clear. Dickerson Pike, a good way to steer clear as we move on into our 6 o'clock hour.
March 19th is National Laugh Day. And some medical experts are sharing how laughing can improve your health. I agree with that, including a doctor with the Cleveland Clinic who says laughing can help with stress relief, which can then help improve your overall immune system and reportedly lessen your chance of getting sick. Who knew laughter could be a good dose of medicine?
Yeah. Now, just don't laugh at anybody else's expense.
Okay.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. It can help with your blood flow, increasing oxygen. It can help your physical health for the issues that Erica just mentioned, but also can impact your mental health by strengthening social bonds. I guess you just have to also find people whose sense of humor you appreciate, right?
Yeah, because laughter is contagious.
Yeah, it is.
Stay positive.
Okay. Hey, speaking of staying positive, Hyundai and Kia are announcing some new protections to try to prevent car thefts. The companies say that they're going to provide free software upgrades for the vehicles that have really been targeted lately. The manufacturers say about 4 million cars are eligible for this software upgrade. Vehicles that cannot implement the update can get a free ignition cylinder protector. See, that's been the weak spot for these Kias and Hyundais, is the starter can easily be triggered and then stolen. They're also launching some mobile software that could be popping up in cities across the country. No word yet that they're going to be in Nashville. But again, if you have a Kia or a Hyundai, just reach out to your manufacturer or your dealer, see if you can get that upgrade.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, new charges for the man accused of firing a gun that left a Belmont student dead.
And new video in the disappearance of Riley Strain coming straight from a Metro Police body cam. That encounter and what Riley's family has to say about it.
A lot to get to, but we do want to start by thanking you for waking up with us here on a busy Tuesday morning on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get straight to some of our top stories new in this 6 o'clock hour.
We do begin with a breaking news update regarding new charges being filed for the shooting death of Belmont University student Juliet Ludwig. It happened last fall. Now Shaquille Taylor, this person right here on your screen, charged for firing a gun while Ludwig was walking in an Edge Hill Park. She was shot in the head and died in the hospital days later. Court records now showing that Shaquille Taylor is facing multiple charges that do include a felony murder charge. That is in addition to the previous charge of felony aggravated assault. We have more updates on this story over on fox17.com.
And continuing coverage now in the search for missing college student Riley Strain. We are getting a look at new video from Metro Police showing an encounter between the officer and Riley Strain the night that he disappeared.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
That was it. That was the extent of that interaction. Police releasing the video just yesterday, 10 days after 22-year-old Riley Strain vanished. He was asked to leave a downtown Nashville bar. That exchange with the officer happened along Gay Street, south of the Woodland Street Bridge. Metro Police say that Riley did not seem distressed, adding that the officer was on Gay Street for something else. He was there for a burglary call, and he stuck around in that area for about 45 minutes after that encounter with Riley. The video's release comes after two young ladies who are popular on the app TikTok found Riley's debit card along the bank of the Cumberland River over the weekend. We spoke with members of Riley Strain's family who tell us they are concerned over how the case is being handled. They want to know why it took 2 days, for example, to assign a detective to this case.
I wish something would have been done sooner. We've discussed this. The first 48 is so crucial. You know, don't shoot the messenger, but I think if we had people with badges right now that was covering this as strongly as the media has, we'd have Riley home.
Metro Police tell Fox 17 News so far there is no evidence of foul play in this case, and officers have been meeting with Riley's parents to keep them updated.
And Jen, I know you just mapped some of that out, but we do want to give you some more context. The path that the 22-year-old reportedly took. So right here, we're showing you a map, and we also showed you video of the police body camera video that was recorded just as Riley walked by the officer over on Gay Street. That was downtown, so Gay Street right behind us here. In that video, Riley Strain continued to walk north up on Gay Street, a little more than a block away. We found 2 more clues for this case. That included, we're showing you a ping right here, Riley's cell phone. That was last pinged over at James Robertson Parkway and Gay Street. And just below that area, that is where Riley's bank card was found by those 2 women who were using TikTok. They found that bank card over on the riverbank.
An Amber Alert issued on behalf of Shelbyville police is now over because TBI agents have found 2 children, Journey and Daly Garrett, and found them in Alabama. Those 2 children, the subject of the Amber Alert yesterday evening. Nobody had seen the children since March 13th. And the mother on the left side of your screen, Casey Campbell, is now charged in the case. Interestingly enough, and this really came to our attention yesterday, there were people across the state of Tennessee who said they never got the Amber Alert. Neither one of my phones went off. We had several people here at the station who reported the same thing. If that's something that you experienced yesterday, maybe you never got that Amber Alert, let us know. We're working to find out what was happening with that system here in Tennessee and what kind of flaw might have caused that.
Yeah, plenty of folks sounding off over on our Fox Nashville Facebook account about that particular story. And a danger child alert this morning as TBI is looking for this teenager right behind me here. We're talking about Catherine Alexis Stayrook. The McMinn County Sheriff's Office also searching for her. She's about 5'6", and they're saying if you have any information about her possible whereabouts to go ahead and call the number that we're sharing for you at the bottom of your screen. It's 423-645-3222.
6:05, looking at a forecast here of cold temperatures to start in the afternoon. Getting a little bit better hour by hour. You can see right now over Lower Broadway, 27 very cold degrees. We feel like we're closer to 20 in the Nashville area. You get away from downtown and temperatures feel like they're in the teens and low 20s across the board. Keep that in mind. Actual air temperature has sunk below the 30-degree mark. We knew it was going to happen, but look at how cold a few areas have gotten. Tullahoma, 21. 23 in McMinnville, 25 in Columbia. It is cold. You are going to have frost on your windshield if you parked outside overnight. We've gotten to that coldest part of the morning, and now we're starting to see frost develop on those cars that haven't been touched since yesterday evening. Wind chill, 20 in Murfreesboro, 17 in Tullahoma, 20 in Clarksville. We're talking about 20s across the board with teens that kind of creep in there. We will be up near 60 later on this afternoon, but I'm also tracking some rain that'll move in Thursday into Friday. So we'll have our eyes focused on that and take you into the upcoming first weekend of spring coming up in the next check of your forecast.
Clear traffic out here for you this morning. Let's get you to I-24 at Haywood Lane. That drive coming in from the Antioch area, you can see for yourself. Traffic is moving along very nicely. No major accidents, no major tie-ups out there so far this morning. However, things we know can change for sure. This is 65-24. Look at this slowdown coming in from the north side this morning. Things are slowing down by the second there. Let's take a look at the drive times there coming in from that north side. Mount Juliet at 26 minutes, Murfreesboro just over an hour, just 27 minutes right now from Hendersonville. This time can easily get into the 40s by the end of our morning.
School leaders in Williamson County speaking out about Governor.
Budget breaks. Breaks starting at just $100.
Relaxing.
.609 is the time, and new this morning, the Williamson County School Board has voted against a school voucher proposal. Now, just to be clear, this is just a statement. They don't have a real vote on this. It's up to the state legislator, but the school board did want to take a statement on this, sort of a stance on this, and they are not alone. Dozens of school boards across the state of Tennessee have also voted about the school voucher proposal. By the way, there's 3 of them floating around right now across the state legislature, and it would take public's money and it would put it towards private schools for some students to leave public schools, going to private schools at their parents' discretion. Now, some school board members spoke out strongly against this. Others say it's really not for them to say one way or the other. Listen.
So we've talked about it ad nauseum. We've had a lot of excuses of why not. Well, you know, we need to focus on us. It is. We need to see a bill. We've seen it. We need to see a fiscal note. We've seen it. It's just enough excuses. I don't think this is good for our school district, and we've all taken oath to put students first. So for me at least, it's a very simple equation.
The fear I have and still have, and it's come to reality, is that we're getting dragged into a political fight.
So the school board in the end voted 7 yes, 5 no on this resolution. The 5 who voted no, most of them say it's not that they agree with the voucher program. They just don't think the school board should take a position on it one way or the other.
6:11 our time. A quick look at your forecast here on your Tuesday morning. We're waking up here even colder than yesterday morning, but it is the first day of spring. So we'll look at the latest spring freeze dates. We're well below 32 degrees. We're in a hard freeze right now, meaning anything that is already blossoming and blooming might have some leaf damage a little bit later on today. So watch out for those plants very carefully later today, and I would wait to water them until this evening. If you do that typically every morning, give them a little extra time to recover. April 25th, though, the latest spring freeze on date for our records here. As far as Nashville goes, May 9th in Clarksville and May 28th in Crossville. What this tells us is that, yes, of course, geographically, the higher up you go, the longer you can see that freezing period last. But it also means that historically, the month of April, we still can see 1 or 2 of those days that get below 32. So we always keep our eyes on it here throughout the next month. As we ease our way into spring, you'll be up to 60 later on this afternoon.
Still clear traffic out there for you. Let's get to the very latest happening out there on I-24 Harding Place, coming in from Antioch this morning. As you can see, there's the traffic moving along just fine out there. We are looking pretty good out there coming in from Harding Place in the Antioch area. No big problems, no big tie-ups. Things moving along pretty nicely. The drive time from Murfreesboro into Nashville still about an hour. We'll continue to watch things out there for you this morning. Well, coming up, a man found dead after being reported missing for almost 2 weeks. We've got the very latest on this investigation.
Fox 17 News, your Code Red weather station. His Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Sarah Chevrolet Buick GMC of Nashville.
I think that the student's perspective and the student point of view has not been truly brought into this conversation.
Well, new this morning, a plan to change the way Tennessee State University is governed is seeing changes of its own.
Yeah, we have state lawmakers who are pushing to try to forward a bill that would remove, at first, they wanted to remove all members of the governing board. Now they're saying just 3 in what looks to be a compromise. But either way, this whole idea and the controversy surrounding the TSU board is also not sitting well with students.
Yeah, they're very outspoken. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar joining us live from the state capitol, hearing from some lawmakers who called this, Karen, a good compromise. Why is that?
That's right, Erica. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are calling it a good compromise because they are one step closer to ensuring that TSU students are being governed in their eyes more correctly than previously that they were. Now, the vote passed passed yesterday at the state capitol behind me to amend the original bill that aimed to remove all TSU board members. The House Government Operations Committee voted to just cut 3 board members. This comes after the Senate passed legislation last week to get rid of all 10 members. There has been controversy over the removal of board members after state officials criticized TSU for not being run the way it should be. TSU alleging they've been underfunded by the state. Following yesterday's vote, TSU students held a press conference. They are frustrated because they say they don't have a voice in the process. Sean Wimberly Jr., the student trustee on the Board of Trustees, says the less disruptive the state is on their leadership, the better.
This keeps the entire board from being vacated. You never want to do that.
We're not the most supportive of any members getting removed, but the less disruptive it is to our student body and to our campus, that's what it is.
A Tennessee House representative tells Fox 17 News that the bill could potentially move to the House floor next week. Reporting live in front of the Capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Karen, thank you so much. Just about 6:17. It is the first day of spring.
Here we go.
That is. So, we've talked about cheekwood and the tulips and the whole 9 yards, but Erica, can you please describe what we're going to be seeing in this photo momentarily?
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh, could these photos not be cuter? Because there are so many other things you can do.
Yes, I was telling Jen about this.
Yeah.
Liberty Grace Farms over in Columbia. We went there last week, took Ryman because I wanted her to see the tulips, and there she is. Look at this. She loved it. So I just want to give them a shout out. I know they watch Fox 17 News and we appreciate it. And it's a fantastic place to get outside. If you want to enjoy the tulips and the weather, here you go.
And it looks like a great place for a photo op, too.
Oh, they do photo sessions.
Right?
This is just my Mimi taking a photo on the phone.
This is Grandma.
Go, Mimi.
Photo ops, the whole 9 yards. And also this time of the year, too. I mean, you're waking up in the 20s. But if you start going out and about and you're finding places that you like that are beautiful, send us your pictures here. I mean, we love showing off everywhere across Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. My gosh. I have to pick your brain too about the curiosity of the flowers. Oh my gosh. Taking a look here, weather story. Welcome to spring, winter. Where are we? We're at the teens and 20s right now this morning. We're on our way to 60 this afternoon. Tracking the next rain chance. That's Thursday into Friday. When will we finally get warmer? It happens tomorrow. Today right near 60, but tomorrow upper 60s near 70 degrees. We'll see how many days in a row we're going to be that warm coming up in a few minutes, and we'll also track that rain Thursday into Friday on future tracks. So many things coming up before we even get to the 6:30 half hour, including a check of your steer clear traffic. Justin.
Steer clear traffic at 6:18. Quick look outside here at I-24 at Harding Place. You make that drive into town there from the Antioch area. You can see for yourself how traffic is moving. No big problems out there to tell you about. Small delays here and there. Here's I-40 at Spence Lane just east of downtown. Also looking pretty well out there this morning. We'll continue to track things, follow the latest drive times. But honestly, right now, doing pretty well in all directions.
Alrighty, Justin, thank you very much. We have an update this morning as Tullahoma police now say the body of a missing man has been found. They did find Dylan Peluso in a wooded area over the weekend. He was reported missing there in Tullahoma after a disturbance call that went out back on March 7th.
Police say they then found his body in the woods off of North College Street. That was Sunday. A cause of death, though, right now has not been released, but police say they are continuing to investigate, so it's very much ongoing.
All right, and right now at 6:19, some of the most groundbreaking inventions ever created were by people who studied in STEM fields. That's science, technology, engineering, and math. And while those jobs are continuing to see a lot of growth, academic experts say it's critical that children today are introduced at an early age.
That way they can develop more impressive inventions in the future. Okay, so Fox News, Chris Demio has this story.
You're probably familiar with the term STEM, which stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. But did you know careers in those fields are expected to grow 15% by 2031? That's according to data collected by financial technology company Smart Asset.
STEM careers have grown so immensely.
To help ensure that there's a steady pipeline of workers to fill those future positions, Brandon Sorge of Purdue University says it's critical parents and teachers get kids hooked on STEM at a young age.
Really thinking about that early opportunity as children are learning to read and reading in the disciplines of STEM.
But as kids get into middle school and high school, Sorge says
it's got to start having those experiences of seeing people doing those jobs, of meeting people in those jobs.
Increasing gender and racial diversity among workers in STEM is also important. The most recent data from the National Science Foundation reveals women made up about 35% of people working in STEM fields back in 2021. Officials say Hispanic, Asian, and Black workers are also underrepresented. But over at the wings of the North Air Museum outside of Minneapolis, Minnesota, retired Air Force Lieutenant Caroline Jensen is taking action.
I love to influence young women and for them to look at me and see something about them in me.
This weekend, Jensen and other volunteers encouraged girls to explore opportunities in aviation, a STEM career. Youngsters spent time getting an up-close look at planes, lessons on historic female pilots, and more.
I just tell them to go for it. You can never have success without having failure.
Chris DeMeo, Fox News.
It's 6:21 right now. Still to come this morning on Fox 17 News, a high-speed chase in Kentucky. The charges a man faces after going airborne. That's in about 2 minutes.
And hey, just want to say, stop what you're doing and look at this sunrise for the first day of spring. Oh my goodness. Fox 17 News, your only local station with
$500 off the MSRP on a new Armada. Plus, get a lifetime warranty. MatthewsNissan.com.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by U.S. Pest Protection.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, 6:24 right now. Operation Crime and Justice. A Kentucky man faces a list of charges after police say he led them on a high-speed chase.
Now, this was the Christian County Sheriff's Office who says they tried to stop Tyreek Collier. This happened on Sunday. Deputies say they saw him driving at 100 miles per hour on Fort Campbell Boulevard. That is a busy stretch of road. Now, deputies say during this chase, Collier nearly crashed into another car and almost hit a person who was just changing their flat tire.
Oh, man. So we're told that the guy finally got stopped and arrested after his car went airborne and crashed out into a field. We do know that he's facing all kinds of charges: reckless driving, running from police, criminal mischief. You can see all those listed right there on your screen. Man, thankfully that didn't.
Sounds like everybody's okay.
Have a worse ending.
Yeah, that could have been real bad, real fast.
All right, let's get a check of your forecast. Greg's working on a few of your bigger weather headlines, so we just want to mention to you how things are shaping up right now. Currently, 27 degrees in Nashville. Woo! That is a brisk start to the day. And if you look downtown here, you can see everything's, pretty much status quo.
Yeah, quiet. People are not going to get out there at 27 too much.
Not too much, although I know some people do like Erica. I mean, she likes to run in the cold. But for the rest of you who don't really enjoy that, you will want a coat before you head out the door this morning. Look at the wind chills. Feels like 21 in Nashville. Feels like 20 in Murfreesboro. 22 up in Hopkinsville. So yeah, for sure. Hey, even if you've got kids who love to wear the shorts, even when it's cold outside, tell them to grab a jacket or a hoodie before they walk out the door, and keep it here with us on Fox 17 News this morning. We'll let you know how the rest of your forecast is shaping up in just a few minutes.
Steer clear traffic out there this morning. Let's get you to I-24 at Bradley Parkway. This is down in the Antioch area. Traffic is moving down there and doing okay. No big problems, no big slow ups, at least not yet. But things will change coming up here in the next little bit as the traffic cameras will start to pack up with a lot of people making their way in. One more thing we want to show you, and that's down at I-440 here in the Nolensville Pike area of town. We were told of a possible tractor trailer on the shoulder here. Haven't been able to find it yet, but we got to search the other cameras here to see where we can locate it though on I-440 again in the Nolensville Pike area. T-Dot, help me out here. Y'all trying to find it too? Because I was looking for it. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? We always theorize whether or not T-Dot is listening to us. We know they are at this point. So either way it goes, we've got reports of a tractor trailer on the shoulder somewhere. We're going to continue to try to search it out. We'll let you know what we find coming up here in the next few minutes.
After months of controversy, changes are on the horizon for Tennessee State University. How this could impact the Nashville community.
And a legendary country music star.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
6:30 on the dot, now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning. Changes when it comes to the Board of Trustees at Tennessee State University. What students and some lawmakers have to say about this.
It is a cold start to the first day of spring. Now, technically, it'll happen later tonight, but look at the sunrise here. Very pretty, very crisp kind of a morning. We'll get that forecast for you as we get through the rest of the week and into your first weekend of spring. Just a few days away.
Technically 10:06 p.m.
Yep, that's the time.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Let's get right into our top stories here on your Tuesday morning. This half hour, we're talking more about Tennessee lawmakers who have voted to move forward a bill that would get rid of 3 members of TSU's governing board. The state claims that that board has not been functioning properly.
Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar is outside of the Capitol with reaction from lawmakers and students.
The original bill wanted to remove all TSU board members, which could drastically change the way TSU is run. But yesterday at the Capitol behind me, the House Government Operations Committee passed an amendment to the bill that would only remove 3 members. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle say the compromise seems promising. Some say the vote to amend the bill is progress from where it was headed before. The Senate passed a bill last week to get rid of all 10 members of the TSU Board of Trustees. That version of the bill would leave it to Governor Bill Lee to appoint new members. Here are how some lawmakers reacted to yesterday's vote on the amendment.
With the amendment, that is the structure of the bill as it has been already stated.
This keeps the entire board from being vacated. You never want to do that.
After yesterday's vote, TSU students held a press conference expressing their frustration on not being a part of the process. A Tennessee representative tells Fox 17 News that the bill could potentially move to the House floor next week. Reporting in front of the Capitol, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, Karen, thank you very much. Continuing coverage this morning on the construction around Nissan Stadium along the East Bank. You can see the sun just starting to come up over here. Our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey out there for us, giving us this live look. Wanted to get you updated on some major developments with regards to that East Bank project. We have confirmed here at Fox 17 News that a developer is suing Metro Nashville, claiming the city put a lock on its permits to try to keep this project from moving forward. How much have we talked about this over the years? How much has the city talked about it? The renderings, all the anticipation for this development. Well, the developer in charge of basically building the heart of this says that Metro approved their permits to build on the property along Cowan Street in 2021. They say 1 month after approving those permits, the city put them on lock to, quote, preserve the East Bank area as a blank canvas for development.
The developer says they closed on a $60 million construction loan to finance their project, but were then forced to drop the loan after Metro suspended their permits. I know we talked about there was going to be an East Bank development meeting. Well, that meeting was also put on hold.
Yeah, so that was supposed to happen today. It looks like that's now been canceled as a result of this lawsuit and these major developments here. So we did reach out to the Metro Nashville Planning Department. They sent us a statement saying in part, and I quote, "What an applicant is required to submit and have reviewed by certain departments varies project by project and even site by site." The statement goes on to say, "Since this site is part of ongoing litigation, I cannot provide further comment." Ooh, goodness.
Okay.
All right. So this is definitely a big development in this story, and as it progresses, we'll be following it for you right here as your only live local news source from 7 to 9. We do expect our own Peyton Muse to be on this story and dig deeper to try to get some answers as to what in the world's going on here.
Absolutely. Hey, just about 6:35. That sunrise this morning, Greg, is a stunner.
Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to the actual sunrise time, and there's not a cloud in the sky, so it will continue to inch over the horizon, and it's a good looking start to the day, but even colder than yesterday. Still winter feels here in every way, shape, and form to begin your Tuesday. But welcome to spring. We will get there at 10:06 later on tonight, and our temperature will hit right near 60 degrees later this afternoon. Not tracking a drop of rain until late Thursday into Friday, and we're going to get warmer and we're going to stay warmer. The weekend couldn't look much better for the first weekend of spring. However, we've got to get through that rain threat for Thursday into Friday. Keep that in mind, but I'm not even going to hide it from. Let's just take a look right now. 7-day forecast including that upcoming weekend. Enjoy your 60-degree sunny day today. 68 degrees and sunny tomorrow, and then middle to upper 60s Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Look at Sunday, 70 degrees, nighttime temperatures in the 40s. We're done with all the freezing. We'll get a little bit cooler middle of next week, but all in all, the first 7 days of spring looking really nice for this time of the year.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get you to I-440 at I-65 just east of town. You can see, or actually to the south of town in this case. You can see there is one car over there on the shoulder. TDOT is on the way as well. They have got one lane shut off here as you approach Nolensville Pike over there in that area. Not causing huge delays, just minor ones though, because they have shut off that one lane. Hopefully they can get this car up and going here in the near future. Other than that, we're doing okay. Over on the east side of town, we were just dealing with a stall here at I-40 at Fessler's. Thankfully, they would get that car moving. Look at that. The school buses are back out and about here across Metro Nashville today, so watch out for those as well.
In entertainment news now, the Country Music Hall of Fame is going to induct the late, great Toby Keith. Now, the actual vote happened days before he died in February. The museum, though, noting his passion for supporting our military as he played for more than 250,000 troops throughout his career. That is fantastic. Yeah. He was previously inducted into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame and the All Genre Songwriters Hall of Fame. In 2022, he also received a BMI Icon Award.
6:36, we know that everybody pays out the wazoo for prescription drugs. I mean, man, if you were to add it all up, for some people, you know, whether you realize it or not, it could be as much as a mortgage, right, in what they pay in prescriptions. But there is something happening right now in regards to lawmakers that could save you money at the pharmacy. We'll tell you what that is.
And AI, artificial intelligence.
Honorable profession. Want to change the world? Change it. One roof at a time.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Southeast Financial Credit Union.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. 6:39 is your time. Health headlines right now. We have a Tennessee bill that would make sure you have money, save money at the pharmacy when possible, and then you have more money in your pocket. So this plan, as it stands in Tennessee, would require pharmacists to let all of us know about the lowest cost of any prescription drug.
Now, the bill does aim to fight against patients paying higher copays when they can pay a cheaper price without using their insurance card. We run into that debate all the time. Do I need to use my insurance, or I found this coupon on my app, or whatever, or we can't use both at the same time and all of that. The legislation is set to be heard by a House Health Committee coming up on Wednesday.
Gosh, you just think about it. That could save people hundreds of dollars a month.
Better training could also go a long way, with that tech there behind the register. I don't know how to do that. Maybe get my manager. Hold on.
All right. Well, by the way, so this is a proposal as it stands. This is just a bill. We'll let you know if it progresses and ultimately would become law.
6:40, looking at your forecast, and we are starting off here with the sun coming up, but the temperatures have gone down quite a bit overnight. We have temps that are in the teens for wind chill for many of us. Teens. Again, looks good, feels very uncomfortable. So what are we wearing today? We're going winter coat again. We're going with the long sleeve shirt, we're going with the pants, the boots, or the good shoes. And if you want to go with the scarf or the hat, no one's going to blame you today when it's this cold outside. You'll be using the heater in the car, but you'll also potentially be scraping the windshield if you parked outside overnight and you've not been out there to heat up the car anytime since yesterday evening. Good bet you might be having to. So my curious question for today is the first day of spring, astronomical spring. It's called the vernal equinox. Where does the term come from? What language does it come from? Is it Persian? Is it Greek? Is it Italian? Or is it Latin? We'll have the answer for you coming up in about 10 minutes. Just know that if you're getting outside later on today at any point during the afternoon, we do get warmer. Not a good patio day, so lunchtime forecast, I suggest indoor dining. 44 degrees at 11, 48 at noon, and 52 degrees at 1 p.m. We'll meet your dog of the day. We'll get the answer to your curious question, and I'll put a little timeline on some late week rain coming up in the next check of your forecast.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you to I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. Take a good look at this. We've got a disabled vehicle there on the shoulder of the road. It's one of those SUVs with the really big tires on the side of them. Now, I saw two people just get inside of the car. They were on the outside. Looks like they were taking a look at the tire over on the other side of the car, and I just saw them get back into the car a few moments ago, so I'm unsure exactly what's going on here. Just heads up, if you're coming in from the Antioch area, maybe some help will come along and get with them coming up in a few minutes. I do want to tell you about the drive times out there. Mount Juliet coming in at 31 minutes. Murfreesboro, 74 minutes. As the time has swelled out there to an hour and 15 on that drive from Murfreesboro to Nashville.
Justin, thank you. Efforts to unionize the Volkswagen plant right here in Tennessee. We'll tell you what could be happening real soon in about 2 minutes.
And search after search after search across the mid-state for missing people. We're going to tell you about the effort to try and bring them home.
And a live look this morning from our nation's capital. Pause what you're doing and take a look here. If you've never had a chance to see the cherry blossoms in bloom, here you go. A live look right now along the title.
Tonight at 7 on Fox 17.
All law firms are not the same. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Good morning and welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. It is 6:45 right now. Missing persons cases have been making headlines several times here in Nashville and across Middle Tennessee. The people that you see behind us these two are still missing. We do have an update on this young man right here from Tullahoma. Who unfortunately his body has recently been found, and then of course we still have the search for Sebastian Rogers.
Yeah, we're digging into all of these cases. Fox 17 News anchor Megan O'Halloran has some more updates.
While Riley Strain has been missing since March 8th, last seen leaving a Broadway bar, one day before that, 53-year-old Sean Beery was reported missing in Clarksville. Beery works at a local Goodwill store and contacted his employer March 8th, saying he would be in the next day for work but never showed. He stands 6 feet tall and weighs approximately 185 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. And a day before Beery's disappearance on March 7th, a desperate plea from the mother of 36-year-old Dylan Peluso. She said her son was last seen around 5:20 p.m. leaving his apartment on College Street in Tullahoma after getting into a fight. He hadn't been seen since that disturbance call until Sunday, March 17th. Police say Peluso's body was found in a wooded area on North College Street. There has been no determination on cause of death, and an autopsy is pending. Meanwhile, the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers carries on without any significant new leads. His mother reported the Sumner County autistic teenager missing Monday, February 26th, saying she last saw her son as they were getting ready for bed the night before. Police agencies and search crews have canvassed more than 2,000 miles, searching for Sebastian. Police have combed through a Kentucky landfill, searched neighborhoods, highways, and even checked nearby caves. Dive teams have covered underwater areas, and helicopters have used infrared thermal technology trying to track Sebastian from the sky.
That was Megan O'Halloran reporting there. If you want to read some more details, go to fox17.com.
Happening today, the first day of spring, and it is specifically the first day of astronomical spring versus meteorological spring. It falls on a different day every year. It is the spring equinox when daylight is closest to 12 hours.
Yeah, it's the earliest, by the way, earliest March in the equinox that has fallen on since 1896. Sorry, I lost my words because I'm looking at the cherry blossoms behind me.
It's beautiful.
It's really pretty.
You know, this is a peak time right now. We just showed you a live look a moment ago. We've had a lot of our local school districts send their kids to D.C. To go on their field trips. And many of them have come back. Yeah, many more still to go. So we were curious, are you ready for spring? Is this one of your favorite seasons? Right now, 89, just about 90% of you say yes, you are excited for spring to be here. The rest of you, maybe you don't love spring because of allergies, or maybe you're just kind of hoping to get one more snow. Either way, you can take part in our poll by scanning that QR code right there. You can vote and leave us a comment.
One more snow. Oh, please. Okay.
Never know.
We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist. Are there any snow chances?
No.
Greg? Exactly.
No, there
Thank
are.
you.
Now, it is really cold, though, so we still have the one of the two. So, yes, first day of spring, astronomical spring. The vernal equinox are two words you're going to always hear for it. Now, autumnal equinox makes sense. Sounds like autumn. Vernal, what does that mean? Well, we're going to find out right now. The term vernal equinox is derived from which language? Persian, Greek, Italian, or Latin?
I feel like everything is rooted in Latin.
Erica,
But
you
that's
going
just
with
my
that
guess.
too? I see a thumbs up over
I took
here.
4 years of Latin. Latin,
Oh,
Latin.
well
yeah.
then boom, all right. We have some experts up in here, yes.
I'm on a
Vernal,
roll.
which means of the spring. It's a derivative of that, and equinox obviously equal, and then nox being a form of night. So that 12 hours a day and 12 hours a night. There you go. Here we go. A dog of the day, Dreama sent in. Look at the face. Talk about a distinguished pup. I feel like it's staring into my soul. Sent in by Carl. Thank you for the photo here. Great day for it. Still very cold this morning, but afternoon back up near 60 degrees. 34 at 9 a.m., 48 degrees at noon, 56 at 3 p.m. Loaded up with sunshine the entire day, but it will be very cool this morning. Keep that in mind. We're not above 40 degrees until 10 o'clock, even with that sun that is coming up basically as we speak. Next, check your forecast before we even hit 7 o'clock. We'll look at your 7-day, and then I've got a new look at future track for incoming rain later this week as we go into our 7 o'clock half hour.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
The Eagles in this tree may not have a bunch of hit songs, but take a listen to this tune. It was recorded Monday morning in Utah. In Traverse City, Michigan, the promise of approaching spring as these primroses bloom through the snow. Now to Washington State and a look at Deception Pass Bridge during the golden hour.
Listen to Off the Radar. New episodes every Tuesday. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Songs are getting shorter and shorter these days. Let's check in with your steer clear traffic as you get out and about this morning. Let's get over to I-24 near Hickory Hollow Parkway. This is in the Antioch area. Okay, everyone, I told you I saw a couple of people. Here they are right here trying to work on this outside tire. The tires are huge. Look at that. They may have hit a pothole or something because they are not as high as they should be. And now crews are out there trying to take care of that. This is on 24 Hickory Hollow Parkway in the Antioch area, slowing things down back behind it just a little bit. This is 24 Waldron Road. On that drive, things starting to bunch up just a bit there as you make that drive in. The drive time from Murfreesboro into Nashville right now, well over an hour, about an hour and 15 minutes. So heads up there. You can use Murfreesboro Road as a good way to try and steer clear, save yourself some time.
Basketball fans, ready for March Madness? Hey, even if you don't love basketball, maybe you fill out a bracket for fun, kind of like we do. We've got it. We still haven't filled it out, though. The problem is we're missing. Oh, no, there's the pen right there. Here.
We'll get on this.
Okay, get to that, because we're going to do it the real old-fashioned way. But some people think artificial intelligence is going to help them. It's not. Artificial intelligence obviously can calculate stats or whatever, give you a somewhat informed answer, but analysts say the human element in sports makes it nearly impossible for artificial intelligence to make a prediction.
And that takes the fun out of it anyway.
Yeah.
Some coders are looking at what stats matter the most when picking a team to win it all. And they really say it includes free throw percentages, home and away records, and second half point totals.
Plus, how is anybody going to perform on any given day? What if somebody's hurt?
Yeah.
Right? What if they have the game of their career and nobody ever predicted that? As developers continue to refine models for more accurate predictions, bracket experts, those bracketologists say there will never be a method that includes every factor. See, when we look at our bracket here, for example, I always like to pull for an underdog somewhere, right? Like, how about Long Beach State?
Oh, that's because I was talking about Long Beach State and the coach that got fired but is now winning the games. So they're rethinking, perhaps.
AI.
I would like for them to win.
Keep up with that.
Maybe we're the bracketologists.
I think we could be. Howard or Wagner. I think that's Drake.
What about Stetson over UConn?
Stetson?
Just go bigger.
Go Stetson over UConn? UConn's the #1, Greg.
Go big or go home if you're going to call it ups.
Stetson is a 16 seed. UConn's the #1 seed. Anything can happen, though, you know?
Anything. Let's talk about a recall alert, though. There is a recall that you're going to want to know about if you shop at Trader Joe's. We're going to tell you what to be mindful of if you're heading out there.
And still to come in our 7 o'clock hour right here on Fox 17 News this morning, we're taking a look at new video of the University of Missouri student who has
300-588-2300 Empire.
Today, alerts, empowers, protects. Watch Fox 17 News at 9.
Good morning and welcome into Fox 17 News this morning, where we always have you covered live and local through 9 a.m. and a little bit later sunrise now. As we are officially into spring, we move the clocks forward an hour, and so just now approaching sunrise at almost 7 o'clock. Gorgeous start to the day, really just brisk. So grab a jacket before you head out. Have the kids throw on a sweatshirt or something and bundle up. It's going to warm up nicely though, and Greg's going to join us in just a couple of minutes to tell us how the rest of the first week of spring is going to shape up.
We also want to let you know about an important recall alert. There is a brand of Trader Joe's cashews that is being recalled over possible salmonella concerns. So very serious.
Yeah, it's not all the cashews. It's just the 50% less sodium roasted cashews and salted whole cashews. So it's that 50% less sodium label that you want to look for here. The FDA says during some routine testing, they found some of the products did test positive for salmonella.
Yeah, the recalled cashews were sold at Trader Joe's in 16 states, and that does unfortunately include right here in Tennessee. There have been, though, no illnesses reported as of right now. Consumers are told to go ahead and return the products. That way you get a full refund. By the way, this is the second food recall Trader Joe's has had over the last month or so.
All right, let's talk retirement. I know for so many of you waking up with us here on the morning show, you may already be in retirement, but for those of you who are looking ahead, thinking forward, right? Young people say the cost of living now is going to make it a lot harder to save than it might have been for their parents. That is according to 57% of millennials and 56% of Gen Zers surveyed by Fidelity.
There are some younger generations that say their student loan debt, saving for a home, then the wedding, and childcare costs make it difficult to save for retirement. I just want to point out you don't have to spend a bunch on your wedding.
That's a good point.
Okay, so across all generations, respondents say higher costs from inflation, consumer debt, and the need to build emergency savings do make saving for retirement difficult.
You mentioned debt, and that is a key factor here, right? So many young people racking up credit card debt to do things that might not be considered necessities.
Yes, like I would not say
luxuries.
A wedding is necessarily something you have to have.
Right.
Let's toss now to our meteorologist who's planning for a wedding.
Oh, yes, that's right. Hi, Greg. Hi, Greg. What you doing, Greg?
I'm just saying.
Spend a lot on our wedding.
Greg's taking notes.
I mean, this is the news. We're not going to lie to you. We'll see what I get back on that one. 60 degrees temperature later on this afternoon. Oh, I'm in for a can of worms. Now we know that. Chilly morning here for us. Here starting off in the teens and 20s for wind chill. 60 will be the afternoon. Below average across the board, but really sunshine and 60 for the first day of spring. Not that bad. Sunset will be at 6:58. We do have that gorgeous sunrise out there. You can always track along with us on the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. And as promised, before we get to 7 o'clock, we'll show you your 7-day forecast, which does include a slew of 60-degree temperatures. 68 degrees tomorrow, 65 on Thursday, and then we continue the 60s into the weekend. I'll have a new look at Future Track for you as we become your only live and local news source from 7 to 9, tracking some Thursday into Friday rainfall.
Greg, thank you so much. Just about 7 o'clock, we want to check in right now and let you know about a disabled vehicle here in your Steer Clear traffic update. It's a big truck. It's a monster truck, it looks like to me. I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. You can see it pulled over on the right shoulder there. So really not slowing down traffic too much, but it is something to be mindful of. It's over there in Antioch. So just be mindful of this situation. I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. Hopefully that truck gets back up and moving shortly.
All right, we'll get around the rest of your Steer Clear commutes in our 7 o'clock hour, which starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, we're giving you a new update regarding the new charges for the man accused of killing a Belmont student as she was walking.
Fox 17 News also learning more information about what happened to this man in Tullahoma. Plus, we're updating you on several other missing persons cases in and around the Nashville area.
It is the first day of spring, but we are waking up with temperatures that feel like they're in the teens. How many more mornings are this cold? We'll work you into your first official weekend of spring in your forecast.
It's chilly, but we're staying positive. First day of spring vibes only. Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a busy Fox 17 News Tuesday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We are so glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. When all those other stations go to their national network programming, that's pre-recorded. It is not live, but we are just for you. And new this morning, there are new charges that are being filed in the shooting death of Belmont University student Jillian Ludwig. This is Shaquille Taylor, initially charged in the case with firing a gun while Ludwig was walking in Edge Hill Park. Well, you may remember Jillian Ludwig shot in the head and died at the hospital days later. Court records now show that Shaquille Taylor is facing a felony murder charge. That is a significant update here, and that is in addition to the previous charge of felony aggravated assault, also tampering with evidence. That has now been upgraded to a felony offense. You know, we've talked a lot about Jillian's Law, which is a kind of a sidebar piece to this story. We'll continue to keep you updated on all of those developments live through 9.
And now to continuing coverage for the search of the missing college student, 22-year-old Riley Strain. We're getting a look at video from Metro Police showing a brief encounter between an officer and that 22-year-old on the night he disappeared.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
How you doing, sir? Okay, police sharing the video Monday, 10 days after 22-year-old Strain vanished after being asked to leave a downtown Nashville bar. The exchange happened on Gay Street, that is south of Woodland Street Bridge. Metro Police say Strain did not seem distressed, also saying that the officer was on Gay Street for a vehicle burglary and a call and stayed there for about 45 minutes after that encounter. The video's release, though, comes after some popular TikTokers, that social media app, they discovered his debit card on the bank of the Cumberland River over the weekend. Now, we spoke with Strain's family. They tell Fox 17 News they're concerned over how their case is being handled, and they want to know why it took 2 days to assign a detective to the case.
I wish something would have been done sooner. We've discussed this. The first 48 is so crucial. You know, don't shoot the messenger, but I think if we had people with badges right now that was covering this as strongly as the media has, we'd have Riley home.
Okay, that was a family friend speaking out there. Metro Police also telling Fox 17 News there is no evidence right now of foul play in the case, and that officers have met with Riley's parents to give them a full update.
You know, if you're like us, you might have been putting pieces together here over the last several weeks, because if it seems like we've had a lot of people turn up missing, we have. All the people you see here behind me have been making headlines for the last few weeks in Nashville and our surrounding communities. And while the case of Riley Strain has certainly been a focal point, trying to help the family and the public get answers, there are many other recent cases of people who are still missing, and we wanted to bring attention to that right here in the greater Nashville area. For example, we have 53-year-old Sean Beery, who you see right here, reported missing in Clarksville. Mr. Beery works at a local Goodwill store and contacted Goodwill back on March 8th, saying that he would be in the next day for work but never showed up. Meanwhile, the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers also still very much active. We have police and agencies along with search crews that have canvassed, they tell us, more than 2,000 miles looking for Sebastian, the young man you see to the end of our screens here. And we also know this morning that the man you see right here, Dylan Peluso, his body sadly found in Tullahoma over the weekend. So that missing person case has now come to an end, although investigators are still trying to figure out what exactly happened to him. So as the days go on, we will continue to keep these stories in the forefront and work to get answers about what might have happened to them.
7:05, a look at your forecast here on a Tuesday morning. Starting off bitterly cold. Make sure you've got a winter coat. You'll look out the window and you'll go, oh, it's bright and sunny, but it is a cold start. Freeze warnings in effect for several of our counties through 9 a.m. All of us are at or below the 30-degree mark. Welcome to spring. No, I mean winter, but just for now. Today is the first day of spring. We'll be up to 60 later on this afternoon. Tracking the next rainmaker, it's going to be late Thursday into Friday. When will we get warmer and keep it there? We're going to find it out for you. Just know you are waking up right here in the 20s to start today. We'll look at future tracking your 7-day in about 5 minutes.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Let's get out to I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway. Still dealing with that big car with the big tires with the big problem because they can't move out there. They're trying to get that tire changed or something, trying to get some help and assistance there on the side of I-24. Is it causing you big problems? Well, medium at best. People are getting by, just something to be aware of this morning, but the drive time is rather large coming in from Murfreesboro to Nashville, about an hour and 15 minutes right now on that drive. Get the sunglasses out or at least the visor down in your car. If you're traveling eastbound on I-40 coming in through Smith's Lane, you can see where the sun is beaming through all these traffic here going eastbound, going towards Wilson County this morning. It's going to have the sun in their eyes. Traffic here is going to have the sun at its back, still going slow there. No big crashes, at least in this direction, though. We'll continue to follow things throughout the morning.
Justin, thank you. 7:06 is your time. Happening today. Farmers, of course, we know this, play such an important role in our communities. And today they are honored as people across the mid-state are coming together to celebrate Ag Day on the Hill.
Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live to tell us about today's events and activities and why Ag Day is so important. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning. Well, we just saw and heard a cute cow behind me, and people will be bringing their livestock all day long, including cattle, goats, horses, and sheep, between those metal barriers into the Cordell Health State Building for Ag Day. At 9:30 this morning, Governor Bill Lee remarks, and then legislative and executive branches compete in a straw bale toss. The Commission of Agriculture will also be here at the event and participate. The Forestry Division will be there to have a cross-cut saw competition and more. It's a day to show how important our agriculture is in our everyday lives. The best part is this event is free, and if you'd like to register, you can go to agday.org. Coming up at 7:30, I'll tell you more about the mission of today. Reporting live in downtown, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Karen. Well, school leaders in Williamson County are now speaking out about the governor's proposal for school choice. We're going to tell you why the school board wanted to take a stance, even though they really don't have any control.
The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Home Buyers.
7:10 is the time this morning. The Williamson County School Board has voted against a school voucher proposal. Now, just to be clear, this is just a statement that the Williamson County School Board is making. They don't have any real vote or power over this. But the school board did vote on this overnight, and they fall into two different camps. There are some members of the school board who are against the voucher program altogether, and those on the other side don't think the school board should have an opinion on this one way or the other.
I respect those who weighed in. I've got people who are friends, people who I have deep respect for, who've weighed in support of the resolution or who oppose vouchers. It isn't about someone's philosophical views on this issue. To me, this is about what the appropriate role of this board is. And I know we have disagreements on that.
Those of us that are elected as a public official in a political arena to defend public education, and you're not willing to make a statement on vouchers and money going, public money, taxpayer money going to non-public schools, then I question how you value, how do you value the public education system that you're elected to represent?
Now, to be clear, the Williamson County School Board only passed this on a 7-5 vote, but the ultimate vote is up to the State House, the State Senate, and the governor.
7:12 and a look at future track for you. Today, sunshine. Tomorrow, sunshine on the daylight hours of your Thursday. Start to get a little bit cloudier, but stay dry. So we'll stop you right here. This just rolled through today and tomorrow. That's how carefree we are. This is 11 a.m. for your Thursday, and there will be some clouds that start to trickle in here kind of on and off throughout the day and really take over by 7 p.m. Newest look at Future Track. Only going to catch this here from 7 to 9 every morning because we get these updates in real time for you. Here's going into the nighttime hours, Thursday into Friday morning. A few showers, rain picks up late morning into the afternoon, especially for your Friday. Steady, light to moderate rainfall. Chance for thunderstorms, very minimal. We're not worried about severe weather, but some steady rain on and off. We're grabbing the umbrella as we head out the door on Friday, and we are adding a little extra time to our morning drive just to be safe. 60 later today, 68 tomorrow. We'll keep the 60s into the upcoming weekend.
Up next on Fox 17 News this morning, the latest on this particular situation on I-24 at Hickory Parkway. Looks like some help has finally arrived.
It has definitely weight lifted off a lot of us knowing that Jade's going to get the justice that she deserves.
After an arrest is made in a shocking Nashville.
105 Malloy Street in McMinnville, Oak Hill subdivision. Bid live or online Saturday, April 6th at 10 a.m.
See us on the web at comusmontgomery.com.
Jade was kind of the glue that held us all together. You know, if someone was having a bad day, she was the one to make you laugh. If you were having a tough table, she would make you laugh. If you needed someone to talk to, she was there. And she's just one of those people that you will remember forever because she touched your heart.
That is the family of Jade Benning, a pregnant woman poisoned to death last year. The family releasing a statement following the arrest of her suspected killer. Blaze Taylor, arrested in Utah last week in Benning's death and the death of her unborn baby, Ivy.
Yeah, she died on her 25th birthday. Her family sharing a statement with Fox 17 News, writing, quote, "The past 12 months have been incredibly emotional and a trying time for our family as we grapple with the loss of Jade and Ivy." The grieving family says Benning had a radiant soul whose light illuminated the lives of all who knew her.
And switching gears this morning, we have learned that the body of a missing man in Tullahoma has been found. Police confirming that they found Dylan Peluso over the weekend after initially being reported missing after a disturbance call that happened March 7th.
Police say they found the body in the woods off of North College Street Sunday. A cause of death as of right now that has not been released. Police say they're continuing to investigate this story.
All right. And by the way, it is always our goal to keep you in the know wherever you are here in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. And if you want to get more up-to-date reporting when you're on the go, delivered right to your email inbox, you can sign up for our daily newsletter at our homepage, fox17.com.
Just about 7:18, and it is the first day of spring, although it really doesn't kick in until what, 10:06 p.m.
Yes.
Who's counting?
So winter's saying, I'm still here for now. When you walk out the door and it feels like it's 17 degrees outside. But I'll tell you, the afternoon is much better. And one really nice thing about it is this is an actual national holiday, National Backyard Day.
Oh.
So when it hits 60 later on this afternoon, you can say goodbye to winter. You can bring in some 60-degree high temperatures. We are starting off, though, in the 30s. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Out the door this morning will not be the most comfortable. And if you're parked outside and you're still in a shady area, you probably have some frost on your windshield. Just putting that out there for you. I mean, I didn't put it out there, but I'm putting that out there that you might want to get out a little earlier. 29 degrees, temperature at 8 a.m., 34 at 9, 40 at 10 o'clock. Maybe you're catching a flight at BNA going to pick someone up. We've got nothing to worry about with Nashville weather. We have been really thankful and lucky the past couple of weeks here with minimal days where we have had a lot of issues in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Temperatures holding very steadily, going into the 40s by noon and then 56 at 3 p.m. BNA looking good to go. No Nashville issues, still only a few delays we've seen. I've not seen any cancellations pop up. Been checking that for you about every half hour just to make sure. Bundling up as we head there, though. Want the winter coat. You won't need it for most of the upcoming week, which is at least some good news there. Getting some lunchtime, well, some lunch in later here for lunchtime. I don't necessarily think you want to be outdoors for this one. If you do, again, layering it up, and you should be okay. I'm going to go a little extra time on your 7-day forecast here because we are now finally starting spring. It will be at 10:06 tonight. Tomorrow you wake up at 40 degrees. Now, that's not that much better than right now, but at least it's not 20s. So we'll take 40, 68 degrees for Wednesday, tons of sun both days. You want the sunglasses, especially for sun glare, driving to and from work, not the most fun thing to deal with. Rain very late Thursday. And when I say very late, I mean after sunset. The chance for rain will move in, and then some scattered rain showers through the overnight into most of your Friday. That rain will be on and off and fairly steady. We're not worried about severe weather, but that is our next weather maker that will lead to a drier and much more comfortable upcoming weekend. Justin?
Steer clear traffic for you this morning at 7:19. Let's take a quick look at what we're dealing with out here at 65 at Moores Lane as you make that drive out and about here. This is a nice look at your traffic. Great flow this morning coming out of the Franklin area. No big problems in this direction. Looking very, very nice. Let's go to the north side. This is going to be Vietnam Veterans Boulevard coming in from the Goodlettsville, Hendersonville area. A bit slow here on Vietnam Vets, but nothing out of the ordinary. Around 40 minutes coming down from Hendersonville right now, which is about the time it should be as you make that drive down from Sumter County this morning. Keep in mind, schools up there on spring break, so traffic a little different as we have not seen the school buses out and about here like we normally would. We'll continue to watch things on the road.
Justin, thank you. We do have a Fox 17 News update. 2 children reported missing out of Shelbyville. They were found safe. They were with their mother, who does not have custody. She is now facing serious charges.
Right. This is one of several of those cases that we were telling you about at the top of the hour. Let's get into it. The TBI telling us that Journey and Daly Garrett both found safe in Alabama overnight. These were the 2 children for which an Amber Alert was issued around 7 o'clock last night. Sticking point here being, you might not have received that Amber Alert. There are people across the state who have reported they never got it through their cell phones, which could indicate perhaps some kind of a glitch or a flaw in the system. We're working to find out about that. Both of these little girls had last been seen in Shelbyville back on March 13th. And as Erica mentioned, their mom is now facing charges. Her name is Casey Campbell. But all in all, a positive end of the story as all 3 have now been found.
And new for the Nashville Business Journal, big changes are being made over at Nashville's International Airport, as always. Yeah, the airport's first on-site hotel is now open. The new Hilton Hotel offers 298 rooms and sits on a 5-level parking garage.
I was curious about the rates over there, thinking they might be through the roof. Really not bad by Nashville standards. If you want to go hang out over there, they've got a music lounge with a bar, a big piano, they've got a coffee shop, all kinds of stuff. This development comes nearly 2.5 years after the project's groundbreaking ceremony that we covered as well.
Just ahead, though, we're talking politics, okay? Former President Donald Trump, some say, is under fire after using some strong words during a speech over the weekend. Others say it was part of the auto workers. That's what he was talking about. We're going to take a closer look at your reactions.
And could you and your family see relief at the pharmacy? Man, oh man, those prescription prices.
Pathfinders, nature novices, and outdoor explorers. Meet fellow fresh air followers in this idyllic urban oasis. Plan your trip at charlottesgotalot.com.
It's going to be a bloodbath for the whole, that's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
Sparking controversy online. We're taking a look over on our Fox Nashville Facebook page at the story that is now trending, referencing Mr. Donald Trump's comments regarding a bloodbath. Now, the question that we're asking is, do you think this is worth the controversy that it has sparked? The former president was talking about what could happen with regards to the auto industry, not specifically what would happen if he wasn't elected. But, you know, for those who say his comment has been taken out of context, there are others, a lot of Democratic experts on different network channels who have said, no, he's inciting violence. So we wanted to hear from you. We've got the story posted right now on our Fox Nashville Facebook page. We put it up overnight. We've already got a lot of you sounding off, and you can continue to do that. We've also got this question posted on Twitter, our X account, asking if you think the comment is a big deal. And right now, 79% of you say no. You can go there now and vote. You can also not just vote, but leave us a comment and tell us what you think about it.
In your health news this morning, a Tennessee bill would make sure that you would save some money at the pharmacy whenever it was possible to do so.
And I think we could all use that, right? A little extra money in the pocket. This plan, as it's set out right now, would force pharmacies to tell all of us if there are cheaper options when it comes to copays or paying cheaper prices all in all for your prescription drugs.
Yeah, the legislation is set to be heard by a House Health Committee coming up here a little bit later today. Hopefully it can get some traction here so we can get a little help there in the pharmacy. Let's get to Greg.
And a look here at your forecast for today and then a sneak peek toward the weekend before we get to 7:30 here. 60 this afternoon. That is this afternoon. That is not right now. Right side of your screen. We are not even close to that. We're about half as warm in some spots. So keep that in mind. Winter coat for now. Chilly morning, below average this afternoon, but sunny and 60. And today is the first day of spring. So overall, not a bad end of the day after a pretty cold start. You can get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. How do you do it? You scan the QR code. Why do you want it? Well, next time we have rain, you get our Doppler radar and all these crazy bounces in temperature that we're seeing from mornings to afternoons, shifting from 20s, 30s, and 40s. You can follow our hour-by-hour forecast right along with us when you're on the go and never be caught off guard by anything. But yes, winter coat and sunglasses, and you should be in good shape today. Leave the umbrella at home.
Coming up, we're going to tell you about the slowdown on I-65 near Dickson Pike as you make that drive down from the north side. We've got the very latest with your steer clear traffic.
Up to $250 on the house. Oak Grove Racing, Gaming, and Hotel. All kinds of awesome.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
I think that the student's perspective and the student point of view has not been truly brought into this conversation.
Well, it's also not often that students get involved with who is on the governing board for their college or university. But after all the drama at TSU, we could be seeing some changes here pretty soon. We have an update as state lawmakers are pushing forward a bill that would remove 3 members of the university's governing board, and more on why the idea is not sitting well with some of those students.
Temperatures are cold, but we're back to blue sky once again. This is the first day of spring. We'll soon we finally settle into a spring-like pattern and track a little rain for you coming up in the forecast.
Steer clear traffic at I-65 at Dickson Pike. A bit of a slowdown. I'll give you the latest drive times.
Thank you so much for waking up with us on a Fox 17 News Tuesday morning, first day of spring. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Fox 17 News, your only live local news source from 7 until 9 a.m.
And now we're sitting here in threats of our leadership being taken from us.
Well, a plan to change the way Tennessee State University is governed is seeing some changes when it comes to our own state lawmakers. Members of the House are pushing forward a bill to remove members of the university's governing board. Some students, though, who you just heard from, not happy about this.
The students are still concerned as to why we have not been brought to the table, why we are not included in discussions, and we continue to hear dialogue such as, we want to see TSU be great.
Okay, outspoken members of the government body there. Last week, the Senate passed legislation to get rid of 10 members of TSU's Board of Trustees. An amendment in the House, though, would cut it to 3. Students telling Fox 17 News, yeah, they're frustrated after not having a voice in the process, and they want that. TSU then releasing a statement writing, quote, they welcome the amendment that backs away from the immediate termination of the entire board. The bill, though, now heads to the House Calendar and Rules Committee. The bill could potentially be on the floor by as early as next week.
At 7:32, we know farmers are the backbone of our communities, playing such an important role in society and our everyday life. They're being honored today as folks from across the Mid-State are coming together to celebrate Ag Day on the Hill. It's happening in the heart of Nashville. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live to tell us about today's events, activities, and what may come as a result. Good morning.
Good morning. The celebration is taking place in front of the Cordell Hull State Building, and you should be expecting to see livestock like cattle, goats, horses, and even baby sheep here. So I'm here with Grace Powell and Sarah Powell. Do these little guys have names yet?
So they don't have names yet, but we're definitely taking suggestions.
Okay, so we've decided that I'm going to call this little guy Floofy. My photojournalist Madison says this one should be Caesar salad. So hopefully those names stick. But I just wanted to ask you, what is the importance of bringing your livestock here, and what does this day mean for you and your sister?
I mean, it's huge just to be able to have the opportunity to bring Tennessee agriculture industries up here on Capitol Hill and be able to show our lawmakers how important agriculture is, and for our youth just to be able to have a spotlight and be able to truly show how much this impacts our everyday life. Not many people can say that a high school student and a college student gets able to come out to Capitol Hill and talk to lawmakers each day with their projects, so it's a really cool opportunity to have.
Absolutely. And what are some of the changes you'd like to see happen?
I feel that having people being able to be more educated about agriculture and them understanding where their meat comes from and just things that they wouldn't know on a daily basis, being able for them to be educated about agriculture is something that's really important. I feel like everybody needs to know.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. At 9:30, Governor Bill Lee is going to be making some remarks. Then there's going to be a straw bale competition, among other things. Stay with us for the next half hour, all the way to the 9 o'clock hour, so I can tell you a little bit more about how Ag Day is being celebrated. Reporting live in downtown, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
7:35, let's just give you the quickest and easiest version of everything you need to know today. We're starting off cold. We're at 27 right now in Nashville. We feel like we're in the low 20s. Winter coat now. 60 and sunny later today. No rain. Next rain chance going to be on late Thursday into Friday. And I've got updates as far as the timeline goes, but every day will be in the 60s. Today is the first day of spring. We're going to timeline that rain for you and work into your weekend in a few minutes.
Still clear traffic this morning. Let's take a good look at 65 at Dickerson Pike north of town. You can see the slowdown there. Quick look at the drive times for you this morning. 68 minutes coming down from Franklin, Kentucky. 82 from Murfreesboro. 36 from Kingston Springs.
All right, Justin and Greg, thank you very much. Well, continuing coverage this morning on the East Bank development in Nashville. We now have a lawsuit against the city while other parts of the project move forward. Things like the new Titan Stadium, which is expected to open in 2027.
Metro leaders want to make sure they make the most of the 30 acres right next to the stadium. So Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse joining us live with an update. Good morning, Peyton.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So within those 30 acres, city leaders want to give and more of a neighborhood like feel as opposed to what you feel when you go downtown. And there's expected to be apartments, condos, homes, and even affordable housing. City leaders say this development is a great opportunity to move Nashville forward and are excited about the change for growth.
I don't know of a time really in a country's history where a metropolis that is so developed and such a top city and top destination gets the opportunity to take 100+ acres in its core and say, what do we want to do with this?
The ordinance Metro Council is working to pass is essentially a master development agreement for the city's 30 acres and the developer, Fallon. Metro Council's Chief Development Officer, Bob Mendez, says it could cost $100 million. Some private partners are chipping in and the city taxpayer dollars as well.
The vast majority of rebuilding the pedestrian bridge and the pedestrian and bike access to the pedestrian bridge are going to be paid for by our private partners. Metro is agreeing in this deal to move a gas pipeline that goes through one of the parcels and to pay for the part of the pedestrian bridge that would go over East Bank Boulevard.
But Metro Council has to digest more than 400 pages of this agreement and says before they're able to move this project along, city leaders need time to work through it. Metro leaders say the 30-acre project could take decades to finish. Now, the plan is set to go before Metro Council tonight, but city leaders told us last night more than likely this is going to get moved, the second reading, to April 2nd, and then the third reading in the middle of April, around April 16th. For more information on the East Bank development, head over to our website at fox17.com. We've got it all broken down all over there. So reporting live downtown, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your coded station.
Peyton, thank you. And now I want to get to the lawsuit that I mentioned just a moment ago, because that's a big development here. We now know a developer is suing Metro Nashville, saying the city put a lock on its permits to keep their project from moving forward.
The developer says Metro approved their permits to build on the property on Cowan Street back in 2021. They say 1 month after approving those permits, the city placed them on lock to, quote, preserve the East Bank area as a blank canvas for development.
The developer says they closed on a $60 million construction loan to finance that project, but then were forced to drop the loan after Metro suspended their permits. So now what?
Well, we did reach out to Metro Nashville Planning Commission asking some questions, and they did send us a statement that we're sharing right here on your screen. It does read in part, what an applicant is required to submit and have reviewed by certain departments varies project by project and even site by site. Since this site is part of an ongoing litigation, they cannot provide further comment.
Well, we will continue asking questions, though, and work to get to the bottom of what's next for the East Bank.
It's a historic game season. We're talking hockey, and the team is ready to hit the ice. The Nashville Predators getting ready to take on the San Jose Sharks. What time the puck drops and how you and your family can get involved and snag some pretty sweet discounts.
Every time we get a little bit of evidence, there's 100 more questions.
Hearing from family members and friends of Riley Strain, 2 new discoveries creating new questions in the
Tennessee Performing Arts Center this May. Get your tickets today at tpac.org.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Eurostone.
Just about 7:43, and Fox 17 News does want to update you on some breaking news out of Spring Hill. The Spring Hill Fire Department says they rescued a dog and 2 cats from an apartment fire, and now we're getting some photos. So take a look. Yeah, the Spring Hill Fire Department sharing these photos over on their Facebook page. Firefighters say that the fire broke out at the Worthington Glen Apartments around 11:30 Monday morning. They say no people were home. That's some good news there at the time of this particular fire. But again, we're showing you some of the photos, letting you know that they were able to rescue some animals. Aww. They went in there, they rescued the owner's pets, thank goodness. The fire marshal says one of the cats possibly turned on the stove. Oh. Yeah, which then started the fire. What? Darn cats. Damage to the building, though, estimated at about $150,000.
Stay off the stove.
Wow.
All right. Happening tonight, the Nashville Predators will be taking on the San Jose Sharks over at Bridgestone Arena. And the Predators are continuing to fight to keep their wild card spot. Plus, it's Military Week for the Preds as they are honoring the service members as well as their families. The Preds have won 12 of their last 14 games. They're 2-0 against San Jose. The puck drops 7 o'clock tonight.
All right. Before we head to the break, we just want to let you know we've got an eye on traffic for you. We do have a backup. I-65 at Dickerson Pike.
Call Ponce Law, the real truck lawyers. We'll uncover the true cause of your crash and fight for the compensation you deserve. Call Ponce Law, justice for all.
Right now, we have continuing coverage in the case of the missing University of Missouri student, Riley Strain. Detectives sharing new video showing the 22-year-old interacting with a Metro officer right before his last known path ends.
You know, and Riley's family is also speaking out this morning over how Metro police are handling this investigation. Fox 17 News' Kelly Avellino has been on this case from the beginning. Kelly, what is Riley's family telling you?
Well, guys, they do have some concerns here, starting from the fact it took 2 days for a detective to be assigned to this case. But first, I want you to take a look at this body camera video that was just released yesterday. Now, you can see Riley here walking along Gay Street just before the James Robertson Parkway Bridge. The officer saying hello, Riley responding back quickly. A short exchange there, but you could see Riley really doesn't appear to be in any type of immediate distress. Now, this is literally maybe 30 feet from where Riley was last seen by witnesses near that bridge, who reportedly saw him as well fall onto a bush. Now, yesterday, I spoke to a family friend, Chris Dingman, who's been working very closely with Riley's parents every day here, fielding tips and responding to the media. We know this case has gone national. Dingman tells me they don't understand, they say, why it took 2 days to get a detective on this investigation after Riley was reported missing. The first 48 hours we know are critical in a disappearance. It also took 5 days before we saw emergency management crews take an in-depth search of the riverbanks, and businesses that have had critical surveillance video uncovered by the media, including Fox 17, say they haven't been interviewed subsequently by police. Perhaps most critical here to the family, they believe that Riley's credit card being found on the riverbank on Sunday by TikTokers is enough to up this entire investigation to a criminal investigation that would potentially bring in more resources.
It blows our mind that, the card that was found yesterday in the family's mind is evidence that there was a crime, yet we're being told, well, that may not be what it takes to reclassify this from a missing persons. And that is very frustrating.
Metro Police not directly answering any of Fox 17 News' questions. I can tell you that in an email, police said that there was no evidence of foul play as the work continues here to locate Riley Strain. On Sunday evening, Riley's parents met with some of the detectives from the team there from MMPD, and they did receive a full briefing on the work being done, as well as being shown some video from inside that bar. Again, the family had been wanting to see what exactly transpired in Luke Bryan's bar for days now. They hadn't had a chance to see that video. I could tell you nothing of major consequence happened there. He was asked to leave for being intoxicated.
And Kelly, there have been several reports of bodies being found in around that river over the past couple of days as this continues to unfold, correct?
That's right. A man was pulled from the river Sunday. That progressed like all day long, ultimately not Riley Strain. And yesterday late afternoon, another report of a potential body found near the river in that same area where Riley went missing. That turned out to be a woman with severe injuries. So certainly a roller coaster from this family. You can imagine hearing these reports as the search investigation continues.
Sure. All right, Kelly, thank you so much for that investigation. And we'll be checking in with you again coming up in our 8 o'clock hour.
7:50 time right now, and a quick check of your forecast, and I'll bring in the 4 paws like I do this time every day to help me out. Our dog of the day, we have Dreama, sent in by Carl, and I'm betting that someone's getting ready to get that collar leashed up and get moving a little bit later today. 33 degrees. Cold right now, though, to start off the day at 9 a.m., 48 at noon, and then 56 degrees at 3 p.m. Temperatures all morning long have been chilly, and that's not going anywhere through at least 10 o'clock. That's when we finally turn the corner past 40, but you are going to see sunshine the entire day. Do not worry about a drop of rain today, tomorrow, or even most of your Thursday. After sunset, rain will settle in. Scattered rain showers Thursday night into Friday. Not seeing any indicators of thunderstorms, which means no severe weather. A little easier than what we had Thursday into Friday of last week. Weekend looking great. Upper 60s right near 70 on Saturday and Sunday. Start making your plans right now. Nothing should get in your way for both days of the weekend.
Steer clear traffic for you this morning. Let's get you out and about here at 7:51. A quick check here at I-40 at Old Hickory Boulevard. This is over in the Bellevue area. This area here was just clogged up with a lot of traffic a few moments ago. It was crawling. I promise you, things have loosened up here in the last little bit, so that is certainly good news. Let's take it to the north side, 65 at Dickerson Pike. You can see there traffic is crawling from up there. You want to try to take, if you can, Dickerson Pike itself, or if you can get over there, Ellington Parkway, because it's going to crawl like this from here all the way into downtown Nashville. So you want to try to do what you can to steer clear from this kind of a slowdown. Other drive times, you're going to get those to you coming up here as we get closer and closer to our 8 o'clock hour.
Justin, thank you. Talking about our economy and gas prices now. We also want...
Yeah, we are going to talk about gas prices because, listen, it's been tough for everybody at the pumps. You know it. I know it. We've been paying more at the pumps. In fact, yesterday I was up in Clarksville and gas up there $3.29 for regular unleaded. According to AAA, the national price for a gallon of regular unleaded has climbed to $3.40 a gallon. That is up from $3.40 a year ago. $3.47 now, $3.45 then. Industry experts say while demand typically does increase as the weather warms up, This is somewhat unusual, Erica.
Well, you know, everybody wants to save money. I know I do. I know you do, Jen. And we want to make it easier for you to find the cheapest gas prices in your area. So we're checking out some of those prices right behind me on the map. What caught my eye up in Madison, $2.94. I do like that price. But then if we go down to Belle Meade, I saw $3.39. Not good for me. And then let's check out one more price as well over by the Grand Ole Opry. Also, I saw $3.29 as well. That does seem to be the popular number that we're looking at here. If you do want to check out the cheapest gas in your area, go to fox17.com. We make it very easy. Click the Fox fuel gauge. Sticking with driving, Volkswagen workers in Tennessee could become the first foreign auto workers in the country to become unionized. 4,000 hourly workers over at the Chattanooga plant. They are going to get a chance to vote on whether or not to join the United Auto Workers Union. The UAW was looking to form unions at U.S. factories that make foreign autos and electric vehicles. The union may have to appeal those workers after it won record raises and other perks and new contracts with Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis last fall.
Let's talk Tyson. Tyson Foods looking to hire thousands of migrants to fill some of their labor factory jobs. According to a recent report from Bloomberg, Tyson Manufacturing Company says they're willing to hire 52,000 migrants. Tyson already employs about 42,000 migrants from Mexico, Venezuela, and Colombia. They have already been hired for some of the Tennessee plant locations. Typical jobs could be meat washing, placing meat cuts into trays, and bone inspection. The pay starts at $16.50 an hour.
Ahead on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, more than well-deserved, how Music City honors the legendary Toby Keith.
Vanderbilt still chugging away in the new stadium improvements, looking good over there at First Bank Stadium. It's going to take, though, until the fall of this year for them to get everything wrapped up on the new locker room.
Of up to 40% off on 4K TVs from your favorite brands. Plus, get up to 36 months free financing. It's Markdown Mania at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Good morning, 7:57 is your time right now. And taking a look ahead to the weekend today. We've already been covering in great depth through the last half hour. We know it's cold. We're right near 30 degrees and we'll be up to 60 later today. But look at the weekend. If you are planning or you just want to have all the spring feels for the first spring weekend of the season, take a look. Great temperatures ahead of us. Upper 60s on tap for Saturday and right near 70 on Sunday. Looking rain free for both days. Mornings not terribly chilly, but not quite as bad as yesterday or today. We'll be in the middle 40s. You can always follow along. Maybe you get some good pictures. Everything's starting to bloom. Feel free to share those with us on any of our social media, but the best place to do it for me is going to be meteorologist Greg Bobus on Facebook. It's an easy way to see your good-looking pictures right here on Fox 17 News this morning. Twitter, great place to go for weather updates when we have breaking weather, active rain, those types of things. Feel free to reach out anytime. As far as the forecast goes, we continually every morning from 4 o'clock until 9 tweak whatever rain chances we see in terms of timing, how heavy it may be. I've got a new update for you here for Thursday late in the day into Friday. That is our next weather maker. And if you have plans for Friday, you're going to want to stick around and see this update because it may mess with your weekend just a little bit here leading into Friday.
Clear traffic for you this morning. Taking a good look here at I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway as you make that drive out to the Antioch area. Take a look, everyone. It is a slow go. How slow is it? Let's try on an hour and 20 minutes right now from Murfreesboro into downtown Nashville. That means if you left Murfreesboro right now, you wouldn't get to downtown until around 9:20. Okay, so please incorporate that into your drive. We'll continue to watch the roads here for you with new drive times coming up in a few.
Justin, thank you. Helping our children both in and out of the classroom. Did you know that today is International Read to Me Day? It's a day where kids are encouraged to ask adults to read out loud to them, spotlighting the importance of sharing those reading moments with our children. And in Sinclair Cares right now, we have learned almost 2/3 of fourth graders struggle to read at grade level. We have, for example, in Tennessee, this new third grade retention law that aims to make sure children are reading at grade level. Our parent company, Sinclair Broadcast Group, teaming up with Reading is Fundamental to support children's literacy. And we'd love for you to get involved in this effort. If you scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen, you can donate to our virtual book drive.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Tuesday morning, there are new charges for the man accused of killing a Belmont student as she was walking in the park.
And Fox 17 News has learned Riley Strain is not the only missing person case right now. We have several that have developed here in Middle Tennessee over the last few weeks. We'll tell you who investigators need help in finding, and as in the case of the man you see here on your screen, sadly, the result of the search for him.
We can get in the 20s right now. This is the first day of spring. We'll get a little warmer today. We'll take you into a nice warming trend for your first weekend of spring. We'll time it out in a few minutes.
A lot to get to, but let's start by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning. For Fox 17 News, I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We're glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. And new this morning, new charges are being filed in the shooting death of Belmont University student Jillian Ludwig. Shaquille Taylor, the man you see here on your screen, is now facing new charges. He was already charged in this case with firing a gun while Jillian was walking in Edge Hill Park. Well, as you remember, she ended up being shot in the head. She died in the hospital days later. Court records now show Shaquille Taylor is facing a felony murder charge. That is in addition to the previous charge of felony aggravated assault, and a tampering with evidence charge has now also been upgraded to a felony offense. As for Jillian's Law, by the way, which came about as a result of her death, Jillian's Law, which would close a loophole in the system that allowed people to be out on the streets even after they were known to have had a mental condition, that is still making its way through the state legislature. Erica.
Now to continuing coverage in the search for missing college student Riley Strain. We are getting a look at some more video from Metro Police that showed a brief encounter between an officer and the 22-year-old on the night he disappeared.
How you doing, sir? I'm good. How are you? Good.
Well, that was it. Police sharing that video yesterday, 10 days after 22-year-old Riley Strain vanished after being asked to leave a downtown Nashville bar. That exchange that you just heard happened on Gay Street, south of the Woodland Street Bridge. Metro Police say that the 22-year-old did not seem distressed, adding that the officer was on Gay Street for a vehicle burglary call and stayed there for about 45 minutes after that encounter. Now, looking ahead to later in our newscast, investigative reporter Kelly Avellino is breaking down more video given to us from Metro Nashville Police and more of the findings after speaking with that 22-year-old's family.
We've talked a lot about Riley Strain, but we have several other cases of people who are missing here in Middle Tennessee. Over the past few weeks, they've dominated the headlines. And all of the people that you see here behind me have been reported missing. Riley's case, of course, being a focal point, but we are still working with family members and investigators to find almost everyone that you see here on your screen. The one exception being the man who you see right here. This is Dylan Peluso. Dylan, we have learned his body has now been found in Tullahoma. But for example, we have 53-year-old Sean Berry right here, reported missing in Clarksville. Mr. Berry works for a local Goodwill store, and he called Goodwill to say that he would come in for work the next day, but he never showed up. So Mr. Berry still considered missing. And the search for Sebastian Rogers still very much ongoing. It carries on with no significant new leads. Sebastian, the 15-year-old with autism who disappeared from his Shackle Island home. We know that in Sebastian's case, search crews say they have canvassed more than 2,000 miles looking for him. And then, of course, we've got Riley Strain right here. All of these stories will continue to work to get answers on.
8:04, looking at your code red forecast. We're not in a code red weather alert by any means, but we are definitely cold. We're starting off here with weather alerts in a few of our counties, very similar to yesterday morning, where everyone has dropped below 32 degrees. So some areas of a hard freeze overnight. And if you're still parked in the shade this morning, you may have some frost on your windshield. So have that in the forefront here when you're heading out the door. It may take you a few extra minutes. Welcome to spring. I mean, winter for now, and then spring later today. It officially starts at 10:06 tonight. Tracking the next rainmaker late Thursday into Friday, it moves in, and it's when will we get warmer? The biggest question in spring is, when do we hit that stride? Will we get multiple day after days worth of 60 degrees? Well, that starts today. 29 right now, though. We're not anywhere near that. We're half as warm as we'll be later on this afternoon. A few more hometown temps. The beer trucks don't even need to use the coolers this morning. We're so cold. We're 24 right now in Murfreesboro, 27 in Columbia, and 28 in Dickson. We are on our way to 60 today and even warmer every other day of the forecast. We'll piece all of them together and look ahead to that 36-hour window of opportunity for some rain late in the week in the next check of your forecast.
Still clear traffic for you this morning. All right, let's get to it. A standstill at I-65 at Dickerson Pike. You make that drive down from the north side. It is not good. If you're making your drive down from Hendersonville, from Goodlettsville this morning, this is you sitting in the traffic from all the villes I talk about. Goodlettsville, Hendersonville, Millersville, White House, Portland. It is going to be a rough go. You want to try to take Ellington Parkway if you can. Perhaps Dickerson Pike itself. Gallatin Road, maybe. Gallatin Road's probably looking a lot like this as well, just to be honest with you. Here's your overall drive times right now. Hendersonville, 35 minutes. Murfreesboro, an hour and 20 minutes right now. Coming in from Murfreesboro, 48 minutes coming in from Mount Juliet. A lot of this is just congestion. No major crashes I have seen out there. We'll continue to watch it for you.
Justin, thank you. Governor Bill Lee, state leaders, and local folks are joining to celebrate National Ag Day here in Middle Tennessee.
We've seen cows, we've seen little baby sheep, and we've seen farmers at the Capitol already this morning. So what's happening now, and what do they hope to bring about after today? Well, Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live right now to tell us. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, the celebration today is to tell people about the importance of agriculture in their daily lives. There's a showcase of livestock like the one that I'm holding, this little baby sheep. As much as I want to take her home, she's here to educate people again about the importance of agriculture. And I'm going to put her down for a second. This does happen on live TV. So, but we're joined with a lot of farmers here who are excited about today to bring agriculture to the forefront of people's minds, and lawmakers who are scheduled to be here later today. And I'm here with Eric Mayberry. He's the president of the Tennessee Farm Bureau. He's also a farmer himself, who tells us how this day impacts farmers.
Yeah, so welcome to Ag Day on the Hill. It's great to be here. Nice cool morning, but appreciate you guys coming out. Yeah, so it's just an opportunity for us to showcase agriculture, not only across the state of Tennessee, but across the whole world, really. And just couldn't be happier for the legislature to be out here with us today. And we can tell those urban lawmakers what we do on the farm and how it's important to them in their life.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And talking about congressional people, we are going to be having Tennessee Governor Bill Lee speaking at 9:30, and there'll also be some competitions. It's just one of the many things that today has to offer. Now, this event is totally free, and you can register online at agday.org. Reporting live in downtown, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Karen. Well, school leaders in Williamson County are speaking out about Governor Lee's school choice proposal. We're going to tell you why the school board wanted to take a stance, even though they know they have no real control.
It's easy. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, is easy.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by U.S. Pest Protection.
8:10 is the time, and new this morning, the Williamson County School Board has voted against a school voucher proposal. All of them, because there's at least 3 rolling around right now. Now, this is really just a statement because they don't have an exact vote on this particular issue. But the school board does fall into 2 different camps, at least that I heard overnight. You have those members who are against the voucher program in all of its ways. Then you have another group of people who is not necessarily against the voucher program, but doesn't think the school board should have an opinion on it at all.
Spoken to every
representative and senator that represents Williamson County about the vouchers. And I'll be honest, there's things I like, there's things I don't like. And I talk to them because I think that's going to be the most impactful thing, and I encourage people to do that. But I agree, I think we're not going to be resolute on this resolution.
Our state legislators assured us last year this was not going to have any impact on Williamson County, and they sure have backtracked from that direct personal assurance to us when we were talking to them. We need to use every vehicle in our power to defend public education.
Now, the board only passed this resolution on a 7-5 vote. Again, the ultimate vote will be up to the Tennessee State House, the Senate, and the governor.
8:12, and the broad strokes of our forecast is going to be cold for now and then beautiful the rest of this week with some sunshine. The next weather maker is going to move in very late on our Thursday, and then some steady rainfall on and off throughout Friday. I need to stress I'm not finding signs of thunderstorms or severe weather, but you'll want the umbrella for the first time this week as you're waking up on Friday, and that will linger into Friday evening as well. Between now and then, winter coat right now in the 20s, sunglasses later up near 60, and warm for the rest of this upcoming week.
Up next, we've got the very latest on your steer clear traffic, including this drive on 65 from Dickerson Pike. We'll have your latest drive times straight ahead.
It is definitely weight lifted off a lot of us knowing that Jade's going to get the justice that she deserves.
And after an arrest is made in a shocking Nashville murder.
Is the time. We do want to let you know that a silver alert has been issued for this man right behind us, 73-year-old Glenn Farr, missing out of Cumberland County.
This is out on the plateau, last seen in Clarksville, March 13th, wearing blue jeans, dark blue shirt, light blue plaid jacket. He's 5'8" with brown hair and blue eyes. He might be in a red 2003 Ford Ranger with the Tennessee tags that we have there at the bottom of your screen, 615 BCLV.
They're asking anyone who might have some information about his whereabouts to go ahead and call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Jade was kind of the glue that held us all together. If someone was having a bad day, she was the one to make you laugh. If you were having a tough table, she would make you laugh. If you needed someone to talk to, she was there. And she's just one of those people that you will remember forever because she touched your heart.
A story from right here in the mid-state, the family of Jade Benning, a pregnant woman who was poisoned to death last year. The family releasing a statement following the arrest of her suspected killer.
Blasey Taylor was arrested in Utah last week for Benning's death and the death of her unborn baby, Ivy.
Yeah, Benning, by the way, died on her 25th birthday. Her family releasing a statement to Fox 17 News saying the past 12 months have been an incredibly emotional and trying time for our family as we grappled with the loss of Jade and Ivy. Now, the family went on to tell us that Miss Benning had a radiant soul whose light illuminated the lives of all who knew her. So again, the arrest of her suspected killer, Blaze Taylor, that happening in Utah just in the last week. If you want to keep in the know on stories just like this, you can get more reporting on local and even national headlines by signing up for our newsletter at fox17.com.
We also right now have continuing coverage on a story about the East Bank Development Project. Okay, a lot going on when it comes to the new Titan Stadium, which is not expected to be done until 2027. But we still got to get there, and that could be a whole lot of putting the pieces together.
Yeah, for sure, and some roadblocks along the way, as it turns out. Metro leaders want to make sure that they're making the most of the 30 acres right next to the stadium. And Fox 17 News reporter Peyton Hughes joining us live to explain how. Good morning.
Good morning, Jen and Erica. So within those 30 acres, it'll be near Nissan. It'll be the new Nissan Stadium, I should say. City leaders say this development is a great opportunity to move Nashville forward and are excited about the change for growth.
I don't know of a time really in a country's history where a metropolis that is so developed and such a top city and top destination gets the opportunity to take 100+ acres in its core and say, what do we want to do with this?
The ordinance Metro Council is working to pass is essentially a master development agreement for the city's 30 acres and the developer, Fallon. Metro Council's Chief Development Officer, Bob Mendez, says it could cost $100 million. Some private partners are chipping in, and the city, taxpayer dollars as well.
The vast majority of rebuilding the pedestrian bridge and the pedestrian and bike access to the pedestrian bridge are going to be paid for by our private partners. Metro is agreeing in this deal to move a gas pipeline that goes through one of the parcels and to pay for the part of the pedestrian bridge that would go over East Bank Boulevard.
But Metro Council has to digest more than 400 pages of this agreement and says before they're able to move this project along, city leaders need time to work through it. Metro leaders say the 30-acre project could take decades to finish. Now, the plan was set to go in front of Metro Council tonight, but they're actually moving it or plan to move it to April 2nd so they have time to go through the 400-page document. Now, for more information on the East Bank development, head over to our website at fox17.com. Live downtown, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Okay, Peyton, thank you. And we're staying on this topic because we now know a developer is suing Metro Nashville, saying the city placed a lock on its permits to prevent the project from moving forward.
Now, their part of the project was really to develop Cowan Street and the heartbeat of this entire area. And the developer says Metro approved their permits to build on the property on Cowan Street in 2021. They say 1 month after approving those permits, though, the city put them on lock to, quote, preserve the East Bank area as a blank canvas for development. Well, the developer says that's not the way they understood it. They closed on a $60 million construction loan to finance that project and then got forced to drop the loan after Metro suspended those permits.
We did reach out to the Metro Nashville Planning Department. They sent us this statement, writing in part, what an applicant is required to submit and have reviewed by certain departments varies project by project and even site by site. Since the site is part of an ongoing litigation, they cannot provide further comment.
8:20 our time, taking a look at your forecast. I am starting Future Track in the future. We're starting on Thursday because nothing happens between now and then. Just sunshine and temperatures that will slowly get warmer each and every day. This afternoon, 60, but this is the day where things will change when it comes to potential rain and also clouds. Clouds move in first during the day. Here's through 7 p.m. on Thursday, and then the showers move in overnight. Very sporadic overnight going into Friday morning. Very hit and miss, much on the lighter side. And then morning into the afternoon, rain will surge in from the south, a little more on the moderate side. What I mean by that is just steady, but definitely more than just a little pitter-patter. I don't see much when it comes to heavy downpours, though. That's the good news. This is noon, going into the afternoon, and if you have plans in the evening, here's 7 p.m., rain begins to pull away from us, but I would definitely have an umbrella and have a rain game plan just in case, because those first few hours of the night have the chance to see a few more showers that will linger. After that, we are done going into the weekend. We'll dry out going into Saturday morning and keep it dry on Sunday. Make your plans for those 2 days and be rain care or just rain carefree those 2 days, up near 70 degrees each afternoon.
Clear traffic on I-24 at Hickory Hollow Parkway. Things are actually improving.
All right, we've got a live look right now in steer clear traffic, I-24 Hickory Hollow Parkway in Antioch. We got a near stand.
That height to bar height and everything in between. Seating for 8 to 10 or more, not a problem. Make a splash. Pools and spas starting at $29.99. Huge savings on pool tables, game tables, and more.
Spring sale going on now.
8:25 is the time. Just in this morning, we are learning that the Tullahoma Police Department say that the body of a missing man found in the woods over the weekend has now been identified as Dylan Peluso. He has been reported missing after a disturbance call went out back on March the 7th. Police say that his body was found in the woods just off of North College Street on Sunday. A cause of death has not been released. Police say they are continuing to investigate.
And
it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country.
What former President Trump was referencing there was what could happen to the auto industry if China were allowed to continue to build manufacturing facilities in Mexico. That comment in context in and of itself didn't sound off alarms, but there are many people across the country and social media who took it to mean something much different. Let's take a look over on our Fox Nashville Facebook page right now, where we've got this story posted, the full context of it, and asking what you think about it. Do you think that Mr. Trump was trying to incite violence, as some people have accused him of doing? Or do you think it's not really a big deal? Well, we've got a lot of comments right now on our Fox Nashville Facebook page. Plus, we have the question posted over on Twitter as well, asking, do you think that Mr. Trump's bloodbath comment is a big deal? And right now, 79% of you say no. This is live and active right now. It looks like we only have about an hour or so to go. If you want to sound off, let your voice be heard, both with a vote and a comment, you can do that right now at twitter.com.
8:26 and taking a look ahead to the forecast and getting everything toward the weekend. We start off cold, and this is the last cold morning we're going to have. Welcome to spring. We'll be at 60 this afternoon, and then we'll get back into the upper 60s starting tomorrow. Little rain that we just talked about Thursday late in the day, and then especially going into Friday. You can track along by scanning the QR code right there, and that gives you the Fox 17 Code Red Weather app, which gives you our radar when you're on the go, and it also gives you our temperatures that we upload for you multiple times a day, so you're not getting some fake numbers that we just don't know where they come from sometimes. They come from us on that app. Taking a look here. Other ways to connect, you can go to Facebook. You can also go to our X pages or go to Instagram. As far as the weekend goes, look at this forecast. Going to show it off again. Spring is definitely taking over. Starting tomorrow, you'll wake up near 40 degrees. Right now, we're still stuck in the 20s. You'll go up to 68 degrees tomorrow and continue to ride the wave of mid to upper 60s into the weekend. And even that rainy day that we're going to have on Friday with the scattered showers will still be in the low to middle 60s.
Stay clear traffic for us this morning as we creep upon 8:28 this morning. A disabled vehicle along I-65 at Dickerson Pike. This is not the reason for this slow up. The reason for the slow up is because of just all the congestion that is out there. A lot of people trying to squeeze into a very small space, and that's going to give us this traffic tie up. Dickerson Pike or Ellington Parkway are the best ways to steer clear.
Tyson Foods sparking controversy as the company announces they're looking to hire thousands more immigrants. We have details on the Tennessee plants that are looking to hire, and I'm just now reading a comment from Tyson regarding all of this. We'll get you that in minutes.
Support children's literacy. Scan this QR code to donate to our virtual book drive.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Higgins Firm. You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
I think that the student's perspective and the student point of view has not been truly brought into this conversation.
A plan to change the way that Tennessee State University is governed. Looking at changes as well in a proposal to do just that. We've got a lot of updates here this Tuesday morning as lawmakers are trying to remove 3 members of the university's governing board, and more on why that idea is not sitting well with some students.
Waking up, beautiful blue sky, and we need some degrees here. We're in the 20s right now. We'll find out when we finally get warmer and spring takes over here on this first day of spring.
Steer clear traffic takes us to I-24 near Hickory Hollow Parkway. Things actually improving a lot there. I'll explain.
Thank you so much for waking up with us here on a Tuesday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Fox 17 News, always your live local news source through 9 a.m.
We're going to get right to our updated story. There is a plan over at Tennessee State University to update the way it's governed. Some seeing the changes, though, from our own state lawmakers and not necessarily agreeing with it. Members of the House are pushing forward a bill to remove members of the university's governing board. Some students, though, listen to this, not happy about it.
The students are still concerned as to why we have not been brought to the table, why we are not included in discussions, and we continue to hear dialogue such as, we want to see TSU be great.
They're very outspoken. Last week, the Senate passed legislation to get rid of 10 members of TSU's Board of Trustees. An amendment in the House would cut the number to 3. Students telling Fox 17 News that they're frustrated after not having a voice in this process. Well, then TSU released a statement saying they welcome the amendment that backs away from the immediate termination of the entire board. And by the way, the bill now heads to the House Calendar and Rules Committee, and that bill could potentially be on the floor as early as next week.
We all know that farmers are the backbone of our communities, playing such a big role in society. And today they're being honored at our state capitol, coming together for Ag Day on the Hill. What does that look like? What does it sound like? Well, this morning we've seen a little bit of everything. Fox 17 News reporter Karen Aguilar joining us live this morning to tell us all about today's events and what could happen as a result. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, the celebration for Ag Day here in Nashville is already underway. And if you take a look behind me at this cow, this is actually a competition cow. There'll be a ton of competition showcasing some of these animals along with a saw cutting competition, all part of telling people how important agriculture plays in their daily lives. If you come take a walk with me, I want to show you how many people are already here in front of the Cordell Hull State Building learning about agriculture, learning about how food is produced and more. There are even career opportunities here for farmers. It's a get-together basically, and it's very important, farmers tell me, to be able to relate with one another. And there'll also be lawmakers who are going to be coming here later today, including Governor Bill Lee at 9:30, who will be speaking on the importance of agriculture, among other things. Now, I'm actually going to steal Eric Mayberry here. He's the president of the Tennessee Farm Bureau. He's also a farmer himself, which is extremely important. What made you come down here today?
Well, it's just a great opportunity to put the spotlight on agriculture. We've got all of our commodity folks here, and it's just a great day to be in downtown Nashville at our state capitol and call attention to agriculture and what it means to society as a whole. It's just we're just glad to keep folks fed, and it's a fun day, really, for me.
Why is it important to put farmers on the map? This is a huge day. You know, you don't often hear about the struggles of farmers or what lawmaking changes can do for you all. So in the words of a farmer, tell me about that.
Yeah, so this is National Ag Day, and if you think about it, farmers are they're less than 2% of the population overall in the United States. So we've got to have a loud voice or a little something like this to call attention to agriculture. It's just to make people aware that educate folks where their food comes from, and just put an emphasis on agriculture in general.
All right, thank you very much. Well,
appreciate you coming down.
This event is free and it'll go on until later this afternoon. Reporting live in downtown, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Sending it back to you.
All right, Karen, thank you so much. Well, they have absolutely perfect weather out there this morning. The first day of spring for everybody to be out there for Ag on the Hill. A little chilly, yes, yeah. but all in all, it's a great morning.
Yeah, and spring doesn't typically, or what is the official start time? That's what I want to say here.
10:06 tonight.
Okay.
So we haven't technically gotten there yet, so if it feels like winter for now.
Okay.
Okay, we can give it a pass today.
Tomorrow, warmer.
It better be. I mean, we're in the 20s right now. No, I promise it will be about a good 10 degrees. Tomorrow morning will be right around 40 at this time. We're still at 29 in Nashville. So yes, it looks beautiful. We've got the sun. Temperatures will start climbing now that the sun's actually been up for a little while, but we're still cold for right now, so keep that in mind. Hometown temperature before you factor in wind, mainly in the 20s. A few spots like Lebanon, Tullahoma, Lewisburg, and Dickson have made their way above the 60-degree mark, or at least to it. We'll be at the 30-degree mark, will all be up to the 60-degree mark later on today, factoring in a little bit of a breeze. What does it mean? It is not a spring start. We feel like we're at 21 still in Cookeville. That's the feels like temperature. Winter coats, please. You'll be very happy that you made that decision. Same with the sunglasses. Also, happy you made that decision. Here is the 7-day forecast. Been showing it a lot, and it's showing itself off today. No rain until late Thursday into Friday. We'll talk about that rain chance and also detail your weekend coming up here in just a little bit in your Code Red forecast.
Steer clear traffic out there. Let's get to I-440 at Nolensville. We do have a crash there on the shoulder of the road, and it is causing a bit of a backup there on the south side. So heads up as you make their drive in. Let me show you exactly what it's doing as you get out there this morning. Here is a look back behind that accident. 440 at the I-24 junction going back. It is slowing things up quite a bit. You want to try to use Briley Parkway. This could be your best bet to try and steer clear of some of that. Now, let's get to the drive times, and some of them have changed quite a bit. 35 minutes coming in now from Hendersonville. That's much better than where it was. 65 minutes is a great time compared to where we were coming out of Murfreesboro this morning. 48 minutes, a little slow coming out of Franklin, but that time will ease up as the morning goes on. We'll continue to watch it for you.
Justin, thank you. It's a historic game season. The team ready to hit the ice. Nashville Predators taking on the San Jose Sharks. We're going to tell you what time the puck drops and how your family, most importantly, can save some money.
All right, that sounds good. And a live look this morning from Metro Center. This is the camera right on top of our station.
Online Saturday, April 6th at 10 a.m.
See us on the web at compassmontgomery.com.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by the Rocky McElhaney Law Firm.
.41 is the time. Tyson Foods is looking to hire thousands of migrants to fill some of their labor factory jobs across the state and across the country. According to a recent report from Bloomberg, the food manufacturing company is willing to hire around 52,000 migrants.
Now that's on top of the 42,000 migrants they already have employed from Mexico, Venezuela, and Colombia. Typical jobs would be meat washing, placing meat into trays, bone inspection, pay starting at $16.50 an hour. Now, I just was over on the Tyson Foods website. Interestingly enough, they have an entire page dedicated just to immigration. And I want to read you in part a headline from that part of their website. They say, quote, "We feel compelled to set the record straight. Any insinuation that we would cut American jobs to hire immigrant workers is completely false." They go on to say Tyson Foods is strongly opposed to illegal immigration, and we've led the way in participating in 2 major government programs to help employers combat unlawful employment.
Of course, Tyson has large plants across Middle Tennessee as well. Well, happening tonight, the Nashville Predators are going to be taking on the San Jose Sharks over there at Bridgestone Arena as the Preds fight to hold on to their wild card spot for the NHL playoffs.
And by the way, it is Ford Military Week as the Preds honor service members and military families.
Now, the Preds have won 12 of their last 14 games, and they're 2-0 against San Jose this season. The puck will drop at 7 p.m.
Also, you should know the Preds have a year-round discount program for our service members and for first responders. That means 25% off tickets for some of the games that we've got here at Bridgestone. It's all part of the theme nights. The Ford Military Salute Week will last from now until March 26th.
Well, there is some traffic to tell you about. A slowdown on I-440 near Nolensville Road.
Instant savings of up to 40% off in every department. Plus, get up to 36 months free financing. It's Markdown Mania at Electronic Express. We make it happen.
Welcome back into Fox 17 News this morning. It is 8:45. Continuing coverage in the case of missing University of Missouri student Riley Strain. Detectives releasing a new video showing the 22-year-old interacting with a Metro officer right before his last known path ends.
Fox 17 News investigative reporter Kelly Avellino has been on this case from the start.
A day after a stunning discovery by 2 young women on TikTok.
And my stomach dropped.
Riley's bank card, found on a riverbank near where he was last seen, is now being analyzed for fingerprints.
How many people have looked at that particular scene and been on it, and it took those specific young ladies to find that card?
But Chris Dingman, a family friend working daily with Riley's parents on any leads, tells Fox 17 News there are concerns over how Metro Police are handling the search. We sent police a list of questions, including why just today this officer body cam video.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Showing Riley in his last known location by the James Robertson Parkway Bridge and the river was released 9 days after it was captured. We asked why an actual detective wasn't assigned to the case until 2 days after Riley was reported missing, according to his family.
I wish something would have been done sooner. We've discussed this. The first 48 is so crucial.
There's also this surveillance video that Fox 17 News exclusively uncovered of Riley crashing into a pole, then holding his head. An employee at the shop who released the video to us saying as of 3 days later, he still hadn't been questioned by detectives.
You know, don't shoot the messenger, but I think if we had people with badges right now that was covering this as strongly as the media has, we'd have Riley home.
After Riley's card was found yesterday, more concerns as to why the area wasn't intensely recombed by police.
My TikTokers were extremely confused why nothing was taped off.
And perhaps the most pressing question for Riley's family, why more resources haven't been brought in as police still consider this a missing persons case and not criminal.
It blows our mind that, the card that was found yesterday in the family's mind is evidence that there was a crime, yet we're being told, well, that may not be what it takes to reclassify this from a missing persons. And that is very frustrating.
The Uvalde Foundation announcing Sunday it's sending volunteers to help in the search effort, stating, quote, volunteers are focusing on the downtown Nashville area as they do not believe current searches along the Cumberland River will produce results. Metro Police not directly answering any of Fox 17 News' questions, but saying in an email, no evidence of foul play has surfaced as work continues to locate Riley Strain. On Sunday evening, Riley's parents met with some of the detective team and received a full briefing on the work being done. They were also shown available video.
And I can tell you, the family tells me there was no activity on Riley's bank card. They're also working with police to find a homeless man who more closely saw Riley as he last fell into the bushes just behind where he was sort of last pinging in that area by the bridge. I'm Kelly Avellino for Fox 17 News.
Kelly, I'm sure that you thought what many of us thought over the last few days as we have seen reports of bodies being found in and around Nashville. We have so many cases of missing people that anytime, we hear that someone has been found, we instantly go to these cases.
Jen, absolutely. It's been so difficult for the family these past couple days. On Sunday, we had a report of a body being found in the river. That body was pulled. It was a man. It was not Riley Strain, so the family had to kind of wait all day on that. And then yesterday, late afternoon, another report of a body near the river or in the river in that same exact area where Riley was last seen. Ultimately, that was determined to be a female with severe injuries, not even a body, if you will. So certainly just a roller coaster for Riley Strain's family.
All right, Kelly Avellino, thank you for joining us. We're going to check in now with our Code Red meteorologist.
Time right now is 8:50. Taking a look here. Today is the first day of spring. It is time for the curious question that is spring related. So today is technically the vernal equinox. What does that mean? What language did that come from? Persian, Greek, Italian, or Latin? I will definitely have the answer for you here in about 30 seconds from right now, so think on it. Right now, though, our forecast for today starting off a little cold in the 30s, 56 degrees by 3 p.m. Our dog of the day, Dreama, sent in by Carl. Get ready to go for a good afternoon for a walk because temperatures will get back up near 60 this afternoon. Just takes a little while to get there. We'll call it 56 degrees by 3 o'clock. Right around that time frame, we could hit that 60-degree mark depending upon how much sunshine continues to dominate. You can go to Facebook to get that pinned post right there. You send your photos by clicking on that, and that's how you get them straight to us. Taking a look at future track, nothing happening today and into tonight, so nothing to worry about for today. What is the answer when it comes to what language is vernal equinox from? If you guessed Latin, you are correct. One last check of your 7-day forecast coming your way in about 3 minutes.
Steer clear traffic out there for you this morning. Okay, so they finally got a tow truck out there on I-440 at Nolensville Road as they're going to try to get that car out of the way that's been causing a lot of slowdown there across South Nashville. So if you are coming, say, from the airport going towards Bellevue, going towards Green Hills, this is part of your drive, and it's been a very slow one out there. You could try to take Broadley Parkway as a good way to try and steer clear, because let me show you the backup back behind it here. Yeah, it's a bit of a school zone back here, but that's going to be your best bet to try and steer clear. But again, once they clear it with this tow truck and get this out of the way, you're going to be in much better shape there. Overall drive times also looking a lot better than where we were a few moments ago. Hendersonville in at 35 minutes. Murfreesboro, this time is actually going under an hour here, so we're in much better shape coming down I-24.
At 8:52 right now, Fox 17 News, as we mentioned just a moment ago, well aware that we have several missing person cases happening right now in the mid-state. We know many of...
It means getting a powerful law firm on your side, one with a proven record of success. And it means the peace of mind of never paying us a fee unless we get money for you. Get Hughes & Coleman and get it done.
Right now, we are recapping some of our top stories this Tuesday morning. We know that missing persons cases have been making headlines for the past couple of weeks here in Nashville and across Middle Tennessee. While the case of Riley Strange's disappearance really has been a big point of interest for so many folks who are still searching out there, there are a handful of other recent missing person cases that are still unsolved here in the greater Nashville area, including 53-year-old Sean Beery reported missing out of Clarksville.
We also have the search for 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers that carries on with no significant new leads. Dylan Peluso reported missing after a disturbance call March 7th, and we've learned that Tullahoma police found his body Sunday. So these are all stories that we continue following for you. We'll keep you updated online throughout the course of the day at fox17.com.
And happening today, more than 150 immigrants and refugees from across the state are gathering over at the Tennessee State Legislature for a day on the Hill hosted by the Tennessee Immigrant and Refugee Rights Coalition.
They have a news conference that is scheduled for noon today at the Legislative Plaza. Looking ahead now, hoping to create change and spread awareness, Voices for a Safer Tennessee is asking the community to wear red and link arms to honor the memory of the Covenant victims and the hundreds of lives lost to gun violence over the last year.
Event coordinators say their goal is to go ahead and form a chain of 13,000 people from Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital over at Vanderbilt through Centennial Park and then up Charlotte Avenue all the way to our state capitol.
Now, if you want to participate in all of this, we have the information on your screen right here. It's happening March 27th at 5 p.m. Right now, a live look from downtown Nashville and a final check of your forecast.
Yeah, taking a look right there. Plenty of blue sky for us, but also kind of lacking in the temperature department. Still, we've been talking about it all morning long that we're in the 20s right now. This is the first day of spring. Spring will start at 10:06 later on tonight. So this is the last cold morning, kind of fitting. 60 degrees this afternoon. The sun does not go anywhere, and the clear sky does not go anywhere until Thursday. Tomorrow, sunny in the upper 60s. Let's talk Thursday into Friday, though, because there will be some rain that moves in. After sunset on Thursday and then into Thursday night, there'll be a few hit and miss light rain showers. Those will pick up in coverage and also get a little bit heavier going into the morning and afternoon of your Friday. So waking up with us on Friday, I'll be tracking some rain out there to kick off that last